like 10 people watch them, so it's not like it's not some big thing. Okay, so this is
No dramas.
Yeah, this is Cthulhu Dark: The History of Mercy Falls, Session 1. I want to begin with our CATS procedure, CATS. The concept of Cthulhu Dark as a game is it is a very rules light Lovecraftian mystery game by Graham Walmsley. It is designed to tell Call of Cthulhu type stories, but in a much lighter mechanical framework. Our actual mystery that we're going to be doing, this is the first of 4 separate and distinct mysteries that explore the history of this town called Mercy Falls. And this particular session we're going to be in takes place in the 1830s. And I'll give you guys a little bit of historical context. You don't really need it, but it might be helpful. But it takes place in the 1830s when Mercy Falls is a camp town on the Oregon Trail. So if anyone's had a chance to ever play the Oregon Trail video game, if you're American, you definitely played it when you were in school. It's
so we've got dysentery then, yeah?
Yeah, exactly, precisely. So that's our setting. We'll talk a little bit more about what your characters are and what they're up to in a minute. The aim of today is we're going to finish this mystery. We'll do character creation. It's really fast, and then we'll get through it. And if we have time to debrief at the end, we will. But otherwise, we'll jump on a Discord chat and debrief there too. The tone of the game is dark. It's called Cthulhu Dark. I can't help but inject humor into things sometimes, so it's something I have no control over, and I will do my best to keep it under control. But a little bit of levity is cool. I would like to maintain a dark tone as best we're able to. In terms of subject matter, I'm trying to think of what could be problematic based off the mysteries I've designed it. I guess the biggest deal with subject matter is the characters in the fiction are going to have derogatory names for Native peoples. They're not going to say Native American, okay? So that's probably the one thing that will stick out, just as, might be like, just prepare yourself, I guess. In terms of like subject matter that I put behind a hard line, I absolutely do not want sexual violence or the threat of sexual violence to be in the game. I don't like the torture of children, or the violence against children. Does anybody else have any lines they want to throw out on the table before we want to just say that is absolutely not a thing we're doing?
No, I'm good. Those sound sensible, but other than that, I'm good.
Okay.
I don't think so, but I have a question about something else subject matter wise. Is there do you anticipate there will be like an antiquated view of like women and things like that? And
it doesn't really play into the mystery. Okay. I guess just we'll just keep it an X card thing. I mean, the X card will be on the table. If something's happening in the fiction that you just fundamentally disagree with or makes you uncomfortable in an unfun way, just say X card or do this on screen. We'll stop and we'll fix whatever just happened and change it, and we'll complete that process with no judgment whatsoever on either side. So I don't anticipate it. Like, I like to have strong women characters as NPCs, so that's probably a little like ahistorical, I suppose, or at least what we know of history in this time of this part of the country. But I don't really care about that. That's fine. The only thing I know for sure is going to happen is the way they talk about Native people. I know that's a thing that's going to happen. So, okay. So, any other questions about subject matter before we keep going?
I suppose slavery could come up, couldn't it? Because
yes, it could. Yeah, we are definitely in slavery times. Yes, absolutely. It wouldn't have been a widespread practice in this part of the country. This is in the Pacific Northwest. This is pre-territorial United States. So,
which current state would that be? So I can.
It's Washington. Yeah.
Okay.
It'll eventually become part of the Oregon Territory, but it's actually an eventual Washington. So. Awesome. So in any case, we have X card on the table if anything else comes up, and we do the X card here. Lauren, you haven't played with me before anyway, so we do the X card pretty like it's like no big deal. So just if you want to X card something, go for it.
How do we actually do that in the...
Okay. Cool. So let's talk about your characters and the setting a little bit. So The crux of this mystery is, so it's in the 1830s. I don't know exactly which year. It's not important. It's a camp town, which means it does have buildings. It does have structures. It has saloons. It's kind of like the Old West, like you might see like in a movie, like a cowboy and Indians movie. Basically, it would be a stopover on the trail, like people moving out west from the east to like purchase land and settle and farm and do all that kind of stuff, right? It's you just imagine like a level of technology of like Old West times, American Old West times. As far as the mystery itself goes, we're dealing with a family, a German family, Philip, in case you want to get some German stuff involved. A German family who had taken a wagon to the east, a wealthy German family, with the intention of, they had purchased some land, and they were going to set up a logging operation, okay, to cut down trees and log them. They have gone missing. They haven't been heard from in a long time. And the last place that anybody knows of where they were is Mercy Falls. Okay. At least one of your characters must be someone there specifically to investigate the disappearance of this family. They're called the von Frybergs. Everybody else, you can be a local in the camp. You can be somebody passing through the camp. You should be a character who has a reason to investigate weird things, I suppose. But the mystery should hold up pretty well, so long as one of you is at least there to look for that family. Okay. So think about that for a minute. Talk about it if you wish. I'm going to go refresh my coffee and just come up with some quick character concepts. All you need is a character name, your occupation, and that's it.
Do we have to be new in town? Like we are just coming there and exploring it?
No,
or
you could be a local.
Okay.
Yeah, you can be a local. You could be like, you can work in a saloon. You can work in like a supply shop or something like that, a general store. You can be part of the camp. You don't have to be just coming into town. So, but one of you must be there to search for the family regardless. So I'll be back in just like 1 minute.
Does anyone particularly strongly
I
want
missed
to be
like the first 30 seconds. Sorry?
Sorry, what did you miss, Lauren?
I missed like the first like 30 seconds of what Jason said. Like I came back in and one of you has to be there to research for the family.
Oh, I think he was just saying that you can be passing through, you can be locals in the camp, but one of the people has to be there specifically to investigate the missing family.
Oh, perfect. Thank you.
Does anyone particularly strongly want to be the detective?
I could use my accent as a prop and play the German guy searching for the family.
That's a good idea. Cool. Yeah. Okay, should we go with that? Yeah, I was also going to actually be English to get around my accent. So I was going to be someone who's been transported over from Regency Brighton as punishment. But is trying to keep that on the down low and I think he's escaped from his, what do they call it, indentured, and is now hiding out, possibly running a bar in the town. Does that sound okay? Cool.
Funny, I was thinking the same thing about my New Zealand accent.
Well, it's it's a time when lots of people are coming over, isn't it?
But, yeah, New Zealand's a bit far away, but
well, there were some important shipping routes in the Pacific Northwest where ships from the Pacific were coming in and getting water and supplies and stuff like that. So there could be people with New Zealand accents around that part if it's closer to the coast.
oh, perfect. Maybe I'll run with that.
Okay, I'm going to be John Pratchett, and I am a barkeeper.
Cool. kind of like the idea of being like a barmaid alongside your barkeep.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. Cool.
Yeah.
I heard barkeep. I heard barmaid.
Yeah, barkeep.
Cool. You guys can go ahead and just fill out one of your columns there. David, who are you going to be?
I'm still coming up with a name, but I think that I'm going to be a housewife of a logger.
Okay, like a person who is already doing like logging. So there might be a reason why you might know the family, for example. Is that
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. And I can give you some more details about the family as we begin, so you can play on that if you want in your scenes or whatever.
And I think Philip is playing our one from out of town who is explicitly investigating it.
Yeah, this family, the von Frybergs, in case it's helpful, Philip, they were wealthy. They would have been traveling with Pinkertons or some other kind of armed guard. So like they weren't like they were, they had money. And so it's unlikely they would have been like just taken by like, by like road agents, like that's what they called them, road agents back then, what we would call, I don't know, like robbers or highwaymen, I suppose.
Yep.
But who are you playing, Philip?
I'm playing a German guy, and at the moment figuring out which Germany, because 1830s it wasn't a unified country yet. So, but I guess I can go with the. I will just be a Prussian half-ass kind of military guy who, who's
I feel like you have some Prussian military facial hair going on. So
that's
it works. Yeah.
I should have put in some wax when I get up. So.
I know.
But yeah, I'm lapping this.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we're pretty close, right? They were culturally German. I don't know what part or what state they were from.
Not important. My character is from Prussia, and he's an ex-military hard-ass guy who's someone from Germany sent there, crossing the continent and finding those people.
Okay, perfect. That works great. Okay, awesome. So just note your occupation as well, Philip. I guess that would be like military man or something. And we'll talk real briefly about the rules of the game. Well, I mean, we can learn it as we go, but basically the main thing you need to know is you can't fail. So you basically, whenever you do engage in the investigation, you're always going to be successful. There's one narrow exception to that, and we'll talk about in a minute, but basically all you're rolling for is just the degree of your success, okay? The author of the game, Graham, is a big believer in this idea that like Lovecraftian mystery should always push to a conclusion, right? That doesn't mean there is no danger. In fact, the principal danger that you face in the game is you have a stat called insanity, or maybe it's called sanity. It's called insanity. It goes from 1 to 6, and the idea of this stat is as your character is exposed to supernatural things or frightening things or violence that's particularly disturbing, there's a chance that they are going to break in Lovecraftian style, right? Now, that's another thing we should mention in terms of subject matter. Like all Lovecraftian type stuff, with the exception of maybe Lovecraft-esque, I suppose, mental health issues are not handled like in a realistic way, okay? So we are dealing with Lovecraftian gibbering madness, okay? But by the time we see that, the game will be over, your characters will be gone. So, but the idea is there's a chance you will always, that stat will increase the more of this stuff you experience, okay? And it's important to realize that number 1 through 6, it doesn't represent like your level of insanity. It just represents, it's just basically a clock that tracks when you're going to break, okay? Like when you get to the 6, that's when like your character's just like, they're beyond the threshold and they're not going to be able to come back to the world of the sane, okay? So So that's the principal danger in the game, is your character hitting 6 on insanity. There are some things you can do, and we'll talk about it when we hit it in the game, that you can like do to reduce that number. You basically like choose to destroy information related to the mythos or related to the monster, and that causes you to like claw back some of your rationality or whatever. Now, there is an instance where you can actually fail a roll, and that is if another player at the table, including myself, thinks it would be interesting for you to fail because it's a particularly dramatic situation or whatever, right? In which case they can roll against you. And if they roll higher than you, then we have to narrate how your character does not succeed. This always comes up. I played this a bunch. It always comes up like towards the end of the game when we want to see a character basically like struggle and die, right? Because we think that would be interesting to see on screen. Going out in a blaze of glory in this game is advisable if you can do it. Like if you want to go out with a big bang against, you should do that. But you can also tell a story where you're the one who survives, and that's cool too. As far as combat goes, there is none. If you get into any kind of combat, particularly, not so, mundane combat, not so much, but if you get any kind of combat with anything connected to the supernatural, including like human cultists, you will always lose and you will always die. So all you can do in those situations is run. Okay. All right. So now that we have our characters, are there any questions before we proceed? Cool. Let's just take a quick minute to introduce characters and we'll get going. David, please tell us about Olivia Bancroft.
So I'm playing probably a younger woman, 20s to 30s, good wife Olivia Bancroft, or Goody, I think as they would say. And my husband is Hiram. He is a logger here. That is a fairly common trade, especially with the town just starting to grow. You need lumber. I think that we got here fairly recently, but probably like a couple of years ago, maybe even 3 or 4 years ago, but are getting established. We came along the trail. It was tough. I don't think that we have children yet. And I think that our my marriage to my husband is fairly pragmatic and not so much like a great romance.
That was very common back then, right? Like just marriages of pure transactional convenience, right?
Right.
Did you have a connection to the von Frybergs by chance? Did you know them?
I expect that I did. I don't want to prescribe anything to them unless you give me permission. But
the only thing I'll tell you is that their plat of land is about half a day's journey from Mercy Falls. So they were like at the end of their journey, basically. So
okay, so we were probably actually neighbors then, because I imagine since we're logging, we would be somewhat out of the town too.
Okay, perfect. I love it. Thank you. If anybody else has any questions about any of the character introductions, just jump in there. Ollie, I'm just going in the order of the sheet. Ollie, tell us about John Pratchett, please.
Okay, John Pratchett is a shady fella from Regency Brighton in England. He has been convicted of an undisclosed crime and was transported to the Americas as punishment with some indentured servitude. He's ran off from his indentured servitude and is hiding out in Mercy Falls and living as a barkeep.
I love it. There in the setting, just a little historical note, there were lots of British people in the setting. Okay. The Hudson Bay Company was a very big deal in this part of the territories, and fur trapping was probably the principal trade that they engaged in. Right?
Cool.
And so it would not be uncommon at all for a limey, or they, as they would say in the TV show Deadwood, a limey cocksucker to be. That's the concept referred to elsewhere, right? Running a bar. Good. All right. I love it. Thank you. Philip, tell us about. Oh, you're going to pronounce that first name, Hubertus. Is that right?
Yeah, Hubertus Barkheit. He is a Prussian military guy. I guess he just got done shooting revolutionaries in 1830s Germany when someone hired him to go to the Americas and find the von Fryberg family. And yeah, so he did that, crossed the Atlantic, and is just coming into town maybe on a horse or carriage, or whatever the trails allow.
Mm-hmm. Mostly covered wagons and horses.
Yeah.
Awesome. Great. Thank you. And Lauren, please tell us about Harriet Jones.
Yeah, well, Ollie, feel free to add to this, but I kind of feel like Harriet's come from a similar backgrounds to John, and from very old England, and was hooked up with a job as a barmaid with Ollie. Sort of a young woman. I feel like she's quite like into writing and poetry, and is quite an imaginative soul. But it's doing this sort of like to make ends meet, maybe come up with her family instead of fix. But that's sort of what I'm thinking.
No, I love it. It would have been also very common in this time for like a lot of people who were like kind of who felt moved by the muses, right? Whether whether it was like a creative thing or a religious thing, like when they moved west, that was part of like why they went west, right? Like it was like destiny or something, right? It was like there was something like
exactly
mystical about it, right? So and of course,
yeah,
they just
they
found themselves caught up in work like Harriet is doing, right? But that's why they went. So good. I love it. I don't think I have any other questions. Any other last minute questions before we begin?
No, I'm good.
All right. So I think we'll just frame up a scene here. I'll frame it up if you guys don't mind. I think we'll start. John, what's the name of your bar, or your saloon, we should say?
It is just called Pratchett's.
Pratchett's. Okay, great.
Mm-hmm.
And so, just to set the scene a little bit, it's always muddy. The main thoroughfare down the camp is like just mud. You have to wear boots everywhere. It's not paved in any way, right? It's just thick with mud. There are people of varying social classes, like the von Frybergs, who are wealthier, but also, people who are just kind of striking out in the West to make their fortune or whatever. And so it's something, because you'll see like very finely dressed ladies, with their sort of billowy, their billowy dresses, like raising them up, but like they have these big sloshy boots, right? So like clumping across the mud. So there are horses, there are covered wagons. There are a lot of people just spend their time drunk, if I'm being honest. That's just kind of what you do if you're not actively engaged in work. You just drink at the saloon. You might be at Pratchett's.
That's good for me.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's always cards and booze. There's always money in cards and booze, right? I'd like to get just a little note from each of you. What is it about Mercy Falls that, despite its kind of like its hustle and bustle, its griminess, its muddiness, its violence, there's a lot of violence, despite all that, like, what is the one thing about Mercy Falls that makes it a redeemable place for you? Like, what do you, when you get up in the morning, you turn to this and you say, well, at least there's that. Anybody have any thoughts?
I think for me, it's just far enough away from where I was set up to do the indentured servitude. So I think it was as far as I could get. It was as far as I could be bothered to go.
Okay, right. So it represents freedom to you, then.
Yes. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
Awesome. I love it. Goody Bancroft, any ideas?
It represents independence. When I wake up in the morning and I look out at our little homestead that is far enough away that no one will bother to come out here and mess with us, and I look around at the weaves and the looms, and I milk the nanny goat in the morning, and I gather the eggs from the chickens. This is like self-sustaining American dream right here.
I love it. Good. Harriet.
Yeah, I feel like on a broad level, it's like opportunity. It's like there's a lot going on. There's always like new things coming in, which is sort of what really drives her is adventure, and you never know what's gonna come around. Yeah.
True. Yeah. Well, and speak of the devil, here comes a Prussian military officer stepping into Pratchett's. I have a different question for you. Sorry, Hubertus.
Yeah.
Different question for you. When you look at this place, how do you know it's an irredeemable shithole?
But you just have to look at the disorder that's there. There aren't even paved roads. Everyone is drinking. There is no discernible law or organization here. They proudly have a democracy. That's
it's the law of the West, right? I mean,
yeah.
If you get caught with a crime, whether you get punished or not depends on the person who you did crime against can get a posse of people together to punish.
Yeah.
Right?
Indeed, I didn't fight against evolutionary frogs in my youth to have to hang around in a place like this, and but I'm glad we won because otherwise Prussia would look like this shithole.
Exactly. Well, so what do you look like? Because you're stepping into the bar. You're the sort of like fancy new character here. Like, what do you dress like? How do you appear?
Yeah, I guess he's wearing a black dress suit, but it's a bit dusty and threadbare from journey by now. So civilian clothes, but he carries himself like a military man. Facial hair similar to what I'm wearing, and he's a bit older, I would say mid-40s. Hard expression in his eyes, and I guess he realizing what kind of a place this is, he is carrying a gun on his hip.
Indeed. So common information that the information that Harriet and Pratchett would have, assuming that if you strike up a conversation with them and it goes in that direction. The von Frybergs came through Mercy Falls. They stayed in Mercy Falls for a time until not for very long, just for like about a month, because their land was still being clear cut, and for their home. And they eventually left. They kept to themselves. They, like a lot of the German immigrants, they kind of kept to themselves, and and English was a second language for them, so they didn't interact with locals too much. But they paid their bills. They caused no trouble. There was a husband. The husband's name was, I have notes here. Let me pull them up. I'll just close my notes. It was a husband and wife, an older son and an older daughter. Paul was the head of the family. Marta was the head of was the matriarch of the family. The daughter was Jaina, and the son was Conrad. Daughter and son were teenagers. They were upstanding, good people, as far as you could tell. They just kept to themselves. They eventually moved out to their land, and actually they left, and it was expected that they would come back periodically for supplies and things at Mercy Falls, and they never did. Like they went out there and never came back for any reason. So that's the extent of what you know, the two of you. So the scene is, as we've kind of set it up here, is that Hubertus has stepped into Pratchett's, and Harriet and John, you guys are there as well. It's probably the middle of the day. You've got just the regular drunks hanging around playing cards and just getting completely wasted so that they can just float through their day, basically. Have the scene.
How long has it been since the von Frybergs? Is it von Fryberg? Did you say?
Von Fryberg, yeah.
Von Fryberg. How long ago did they leave?
It's been some months. I mean, it would have been like It would have been like 6 months, right? Like
Okay.
it's been a long time. So they're probably barely in your memory at this point, right? They never came back for any reason. So
Okay.
yeah, so you see this guy walk in, Pratchett. What do you do?
Get your drink, sir. Something to wet your whistle. Long journey?
Sure. Give me a drink.
Well, I'll sell you a drink, sir. What are you having? We have some shit beer and some shitter whiskey, but they are beer and whiskey nonetheless.
I will have the shit whiskey then.
Shit whiskey. I call him. What brings you to Mercy Falls?
If I'm downing the whiskey as advertised.
Well, they don't call me Honest John for... Well, actually, they don't call me Honest John, so let's just get past that. What brings you to Mercy Falls?
I'm looking for the Van Fryberg family.
The other Krauts that came by a few months back,
Yes.
yes?
The crowds.
I'm sorry, is that not the correct term? I do
They would have called them squareheads back then. Yeah.
Squareheads. Okay, let's pretend I said that instead.
Yeah. And they're still called squareheads in Texas, just FYI. So that's a thing. It's an affectionate name now.
I've never heard that.
It's true. Go to the Texas Hill Country, buddy. There.
Harriet, do you remember the von Frybergs?
Oh, I mean, the people that were here that long ago. Sounds similar accents, similar the family.
Yes, German lot.
Cool.
It's what was his name? Paul and Murta, wasn't it?
Yeah, Paul and Murta.
Yeah, haven't seen this in a while. I'm sorry, I didn't catch your name. I say, referencing Hubertus.
Hubertus Barkheit is my name. I'm, let's say, an investigator.
A lawman, is it?
Well, not whatever you call law in this land, but there are people in their homeland who are missing the Van Frybergs and would very much like to find out what happened to them.
Missing? How do you mean? I mean, well, come to think of it, they never did come back. I do have some salt beef for them in the back, which they ordered in. They were meant to come get it a couple of months ago. Never turned up.
They haven't been writing either.
I think I'd like to just jump in at this point and suggest that Goody Bancroft, you might be there for some purpose. I don't know what purpose that would be, but you might overhear this conversation about the Frybergs, right? Why might you be at Pratchett's in the middle of the day like this?
I think that I need some I need just alcohol for cleaning purposes.
Okay, nice.
Have you just entered then?
No, I think you probably overheard the conversation.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, just so I can get you tied into there. I'm not interested in recapping it all for him.
So looking for the Frybergs, huh?
Yes. Do you know where they are?
Well, sir, I can't tell you where they are, but I know where they were. Their homestead is near ours, Hiram and mine's. And I haven't seen them in some time.
But they settled down here.
I think that was their intention.
Yeah, I mean, they passed through. It was, what was it, Bancroft? It was about 6 months ago now?
Yes, I believe that's correct. When's the last time that I might have seen them? So that same 6 months ago?
It would have been the same time. Yeah, they went. You were there when they were clear cutting their land and building their house, but you were aware of it. But they never came to call or anything, which is unusual, right?
Mm. Yes. So about 6 months ago, Hiram helped clear out their plot for where they were going to build their house, and I haven't heard from them since. Very strange.
Miss Bancroft, was it?
Good wife, Bancroft, please.
well, good wife, Bancroft. Could you show me where this plot was?
Well, if you don't mind a walk, I wouldn't mind a company.
Perfect.
Well,
That sounds really good. So, John Pratchett and Harriet. I'm interested why the both of you might be interested in the disappearance of the Frybergs. What might be the thing that gets you guys to conduct your own sort of a little investigation here in town? You know, just to be helpful, or
I think Paul was a good tipper.
Yeah, perfect. I love it. Yeah, that's good.
I want to say that I was talking euphemistically when I said that I had some salt beef from in the back. I want to think that I have something slightly more illicit that he'd asked me to get for him. And so I'm down money on that.
Good. So you're collecting on a debt then.
Yes.
Good. I love it. And Harriet is your confidant, so it makes sense. In addition to the fact that Paul was a good tipper, it makes sense that you guys would be on it. Well, so then here's the way this works. You guys can conduct the investigation in any manner you wish. The mystery is structured so that it's very sturdy. No matter what you do, no matter how you choose to pursue it, I will be able to respond. So I would just go around the table at this point and just ask, like, to the extent that you go looking into this a little bit, what would you be doing? It sounds like we have a good idea what Olivia and it's going to take me a minute. Hubertus is doing. But anything before, you can absolutely do that. But let's start with John.
I have a question for.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Oh, well, I have a question for John, which is if you got to deal with him, have you to follow up on that since his disappearance or anything like that?
Actually, yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, let's say that because it's been a little while since they've been in, I've been making some inquiries as to where they are, what's happened to them. So there's someone that I've sent to see if they can turn up any information on them. And now's a good time, a fortuitous time.
We can get a character like that going. I think there's a trail woman named Jane.
Okay.
And she, I think she does things like deliver mails. She's good with a gun and a whip, so she kind of accompanies the wagons going down the trail too. She goes east and west, and maybe you've just asked her to keep her eye out. Does that sound good?
Yeah, and I haven't put that much emphasis on it until Hubert. Is it Hubert? Sorry. Hubertus came into the bar, because up until that point I thought that it was all eventually he would turn up and we would make our deal. But now that it looks like someone in authority is also looking for him, I'm thinking maybe that could go sideways. So I'm trying to look at that a little more.
So the problem with Jane is she's a notorious drunk. She's really unreliable, and she's often difficult to find. And once you do find her, she's filled with piss and vinegar and is not easy to deal with. So, but she's dead serious and she's good at her job. When she is on the trail, she's really good at it. So, I'll leave it up to you guys how you want to pursue that. If you do want to pursue that, you can pursue other things too. Any line of inquiry is fine by me. So,
is there a post office in town?
There would be. Yeah, there would be like that's one of the things that Jane does. Actually, they pick up letters like back and forth, bring them back and forth. So.
Okay. So it would probably come to here and then be taken by someone else to the.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
I'm going to see if there's any letters for them. I'm going to see if I can go to the post office and bribe or charm my way into there.
I love that. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, that works great for me. Let's just have that scene so we can see how the mechanics work. So you can walk over to the post office. The person who runs the post office, his name is Simon, and he's notoriously a stickler for the rules, right?
Okay.
And so you go in, and he says, he sees you, and he says, I'm surprised, John, taking a break from cards and booze and whores. I feel practically honored. There's no money to be made in picking up the mail.
No, but well, you would say that. Perhaps sometimes there is, and I don't play cards these days. I'm not after my mail today. I am doing a favor for the von Fry family. They've asked me to come by and pick up their mail for them, take it down onto their farmstead, where my compatriots are traveling shortly. Could you give those to me?
No, you are not, John Pratchett. If you think that I'm going to believe for 1 minute that you, a barkeep, a runaway indentured servant from out west,
that is vile,
is here just picking up mail for a German family, the von Frybergs, I haven't heard from them in months. That smells fishy to me. And in any case, you're not a licensed letter carrier.
Okay. Exactly how much would it take for me to become a licensed letter carrier, say for perhaps just this afternoon?
We'll do the roll here. So, so the way this works is you're going to roll 1 die just no matter what, because it's within your human capability. You'll roll a 2nd die if you think this is within your operational expertise. You have to just make a case for that. And then, if you wish, you can roll a 3rd die, which would be your sanity die. What the sanity die does, if you include it, is it gives you a chance to re-roll if you don't like your roll, in addition to being just another die to add to your to give you a chance to get a high number. But if you do your sanity die, there's a chance that you might have to get your insanity raised up, and we kind of figure out how that looks in the fiction. So the choice is yours. You can also, after you roll without the insanity die, you can choose to add it in to get a reroll. Okay. So, yeah.
I'm going to make the case for 2 dice because I'm not just the barkeep, I'm the shady barkeep, and I'm attempting to do some shady stuff. So.
I agree with that. I love it. Okay. Go ahead and roll 2 dice.
That is a 4.
A 4. 4 is good high result. He says, look. He's like, hold on. And he goes to the back and he says, I'm only doing this for you, John Pratchett, because I like to keep things neat and orderly around here. Neat and orderly. All right?
I'm all about neat and orderly, sir.
And I've got a bunch of piled up letters for the von Frybergs.
Going back how long?
He goes and he grabs them. He says, mostly letters that are meant to go out to their place. Could never find anyone to take them for some reason. And he's like, that's a whole other story. He kind of goes,
I'm sorry, say what? Why couldn't you find anyone to take them?
It's like, and he kind of like gets a little dodgy, and he's like, I don't want to say, just here, take these letters out to him, all right?
Okay, but if you ever do feel the need to confess, I think I'm the nearest thing this town has to a priest.
You have the letters. You can peruse them at your leisure. So
okay, I am going to do that.
I'm going to cut over to Bancroft, Olivia, and Hubertus. Olivia and Hubertus. Where will you guys head straight after the bar? Will you go straight to your place or what?
Yeah, I think I have my shopping done for the town and can just walk along the path and past my place and up to the von Fryberg place.
Yeah. So as you're approaching, you're going to see they have this terrain, this territory. It's and this is the better part of this is a half a day's journey. So you guys have been kind of on the road for about for at least probably a couple of riding hours, right? At least. And as you approach, it's all very tall, like coniferous trees, right? Like the Pacific Northwest is just filled with trees, and it's very hilly, right? And mountainous if you go further north. but there is a clear-cut space where we see a very simple but tasteful one-story wood home with neatly stacked little bundles of firewood going up alongside. And it's just at a distance, as you're approaching, it seems there's no one around. So what do you guys do?
So this is it.
Well, yeah, this is the place, but I don't see any smoke. And I don't know where they would be. They're not here. And as we're approaching, I'm looking at like, do they have like a logging axe out? Like, or one that they would use for splitting firewood or something?
Yeah, probably, sure.
How rusty is it?
Oh, what an interesting question. It's very rusty. It's I would say it's rusted through even.
And I'll point that out. This is troubling.
Indeed. I approached the door.
Do you have your gun drawn? Or
Not yet.
okay. As you approach, are you taking any particular precautions, or what are you doing?
I am not expecting that anyone to be here, so I'm just making sure that the house is empty by opening it. So no, not particularly armed or worried yet.
You open it up. It's pretty simply furnished. I mean, just the basics: table, hearth, rug. You know, there's a back room with beds. At a glance.
Yep. What is the state of those the furniture? Is there dust on them?
Yeah, this sounds like a good opportunity to do a roll. I think to see if, since you're kind of looking around, poking around for like more details.
Mm-hmm.
It's at least one die. Can you make the case for 2 die? Just maybe because just being a military man like involve investigating things like this.
I don't think that's at the core of my expertise.
Probably not. Do you want to roll your insanity die?
Not yet, but just rolling.
Sure, go for it.
So, a 6.
So on a 6, we have a special result. You're going to get maximum information, right? You're going to learn a lot, but there's also a chance that you take a glimpse into unknowable things that are not meant to be known by human beings. I will unfurl that at my leisure. I'll hold it for now and maybe later reveal those things to you, Robertus. But here's what you will find. The most intriguing thing you find is they have a copy. You find a copy as you're looking around. They have like a 1-sheet newspaper that they print in Mercy Falls called the Mercy Falls Trailblazer. And they have a copy of the Mercy Falls Trailblazer that's pretty old. It dates back to like before they would have even been in the camp. Okay. It's unusual. It'd be very unusual to have this old newspaper, right? If you go through it, if you just scan it really quickly to see what it's about, the main story that sticks out to you is there are claims of loggers who swear that they saw trees petrify overnight. You may have heard these rumors too, Goody Bancroft, once, if Hubertus mentions it.
Yeah, the peasants are superstitious. Nothing new here.
Exactly, precisely.
the shocking thing is that a family of good breeding and nobility has to live in a groundskeeper's hut like this, and they do it on their own volition.
I don't think you know much about how America works.
No, I don't. And I say like it's something you can be proud of.
So no sign of them. Looks like they've been gone for a while.
If I have the correspondence in mind, this newspaper is even from even before they arrived at the camp.
Yeah, it's like they would have gone to like specifically get this paper, right, from someone.
I'm looking around through like their wardrobes, in the root cellar, in the pantry. Like I'm basically trying to figure out, did they mean to leave?
Yeah, you can give me a roll too, and then I'm gonna get your roll on the table. Then I'm gonna cut to Harriet. So.
Okay. So I think this is part of like, I think that any housekeeper would know if somebody had planned to leave or had just disappeared.
Yeah.
Based on the contents of all this.
Of the pantry and whatnot. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that's 2 dice.
Yeah, I'll take it.
Okay. 2.
Which are your 2 dice? Did you roll with? You rolled 2 pips and then 1.
Yeah, I rolled the 2 pips.
Okay. A 2. We'll hold that for a minute. I'm going to cut to Harriet. So yeah. Harriet, you John goes off to go talk to the letter, the post office. That's fine. What would you do? Assuming your shift is over, if you want to leave or whatever.
Yeah, well, I feel like Harriet would do what she does best, which is schmooze the people she knows around town to maybe figure out if they're who maybe talked to them last, or they were quite a reclusive family. By the sounds of things.
Yeah, I think that's good.
Yeah.
Where do you head? Do you stay in the bar and try to find out who's there? Or do you like go out? Do you go out into the camp and just look around and talk to people?
Yeah, I guess if my shift's over, I will lock up or pass the key on to whoever else is working at the bar and wander around town.
The first person you see is old drunk Jane. Okay, and Jane she dresses like a trail person. She's got like leather chaps and a vest and like a little funny hat and with feathers in it, and she's leaning against a post, like her forehead pressed to a post, leaning against the post. She appears to be asleep, standing up, leaning on this post. This would not be an uncommon sight in Mercy Falls.
Well, I guess knowing that Jane can be quite the cantankerous person when she's had a bit to drink, would approach with some amount of caution. As it's saying, if she's awake and then upon establishing that she's in fact asleep, maybe a gentle prod or a gentle hand on the shoulder.
So tell me about your history with Jane. Does she treat you differently because you're a woman? Because she's really, really nasty to the men in the camp.
I feel like she does, with sort of varying. If you catch her on a good day in particular, but then the more she drinks, then like maybe the nastier she gets. But I feel like she and I have a pretty good rapport. Like we're both very a similar mindset.
I love it. So you give her a gentle poke, and she just kind of like, you hear she like kind of mumbles under her breath. She's like, "I'm not drunk. Leave me alone."
Oh. Jenny, are you okay, Jane?
And she kind of whips her head up and she says, "I said I'm not drunk. I'm just taking a rest. Can't someone rest their eyes?"
No, of course, Jane. You can have a rest. Would you like to maybe sit somewhere more comfortably? There's a nice bench over here, and I might try and guide it down to sit on the bench.
Dude. She is just she is stumbling around in the mud, and she eventually figures out who you are. Takes her a minute, and she says, Harriet Jones from merry old England. You know, I ain't never met a limey son of a bitch that I've ever liked, but Harriet Jones, you're all right.
You're pretty fantastic too, Jane. And I'm around her.
She
Yeah.
throws up. She just vomits.
Harriet is surprisingly unfazed by this. This is not the first time. This is not the first time that Jane has projectile vomited in her vicinity.
Jane,
A little bit.
if anyone has been on the trail and heard rumors and been out to the von Fryberg place and back, either in passing or whatever, it's going to be Jane, and she will know something if you can get it out of her. I'll make this a roll. This sounds like your occupational expertise because you probably deal with drunk people all the time.
All the time.
So, the question is just, do you want to risk insanity?
Ooh, yeah, why not?
Yeah, go for it.
I feel like,
cool.
Particularly if Jane, I feel like she would know a bit more than the average person in particular. So this sounds like a good opportunity to do that.
I love it. Roll plus. Not roll plus. That's doing apocalypse roll now. Roll 3 dice.
Awesome. Cool.
It's very early morning here.
12 and it's midnight currently.
Yeah.
So I feel you. It's a 1, a 2, and a 4.
Okay, cool. Is the insanity die? Whichever the third one you rolled has to be the insanity die.
Oh, yeah.
Was that the higher of the 3?
Yeah, let's say it was.
Okay, yeah. Just choose one from now on if you're rolling physical dice.
Yeah, we'll do.
Okay, so what you're going to do is you'll roll since the insanity die was higher than the other than at least one other die, you have to roll it again. And if you roll higher than your current insanity, which is 1, then your insanity goes up by 1. So roll that die one more time. Yeah.
Another 1.
Oh, okay. So you're actually good. Nothing happens, and you get pretty good information out of her. Describe how you get her out of her stupor so that she's talking.
Yeah, well, I guess as a barmaid, a good remedy for sobering one person up, whether that's I don't know what's available at the time, some awful concoction. Remove a bit of the haze that she's going through.
Yeah, there's probably some herbal remedy, right?
Exactly. Instead of it's trust me, Jane. You'll feel so much better after this. Maybe bring her back to the bar to whip her up, raw egg or whatever. Whatever.
So she eventually clears up, and and I'm just going to cut to the quick. She kind of says, "So, why are you asking about them square-headed Germans out? The von Frybergs? Why do you care?"
Well, they've been missing for some time, and John.
They've been missing for 6 months, and now you're filled with human concern for them.
Well, but up until now, we thought they were having an extended vacation, but by the sounds of things, they may be in some danger.
Yeah, they're in some danger, all right. Them woods.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah, them woods around their house. I've been around them woods, and there's some pretty freaky shit, Harriet Jones. Pretty freaky stuff. All I know is the dirt worshippers out there. The dirt worshippers out there. The dirt worshippers out there. She means Native Americans. They act real funny. Let's just say, I have an eye. I've got an eye for things that stick out in the landscape. You have to be when you're a trail woman. You got to be trained to look at the things that don't fit in the landscape. And I found something out there in them woods, right around them von Fryberg's house, pretty close by, just up in the hills ways. Big black jars, huge black jars made of like stone, like smooth black stone. Really unusual. Never seen anything like it. They was just kind of nestled like in some dirt and grass, pressed up against a hill. And then I've never seen anything like it. Bunch of dirt worshipers surrounded me.
Oh, I think I lost you for a second.
Oh yeah, I had a little connectivity issue. She basically ran away. She saw these big black jars, and these Native Americans like surrounded her. And then when they saw what she was messing with, they got scared and ran. And then she ran just because. So.
Oh, could you perhaps like mark it down on a map or give me some
indication? Yeah. We'll say she does that. She kind of points out where that might be. So,
perfect.
Absolutely.
And terrifying.
And it's on their land. That's the key thing there. It's on the von Fryberg land. So, yeah. Well, so John Pratchett. Am I coming through okay? You guys hearing me all right?
Yeah.
Perfect.
John Pratchett. You've got these letters. What do you do?
I'm going through them. I think we'll go through them sort of from most recent to least recent. See what I can find.
Okay.
I'm back at the. I'm back in the bar. So I don't know if I would have overheard any of the talk that Jane just had with Harriet.
No, I don't think so. But we'll say that Harriet tells you. We don't have to have the scene where she tells you. We'll just say that she'll tell you.
Cool. Yeah, so I'm going through the letters, seeing if there's anything pertinent in there.
Yeah. The main thing you're going to find is a letter from Marta von Fryberg. There are lots of letters that came from back home, right, that weren't delivered. And Simon seemed to indicate there was some reason why those letters weren't being delivered. Okay. He wasn't ready to talk about that yet. Most of them are just from people back home. We haven't heard from you. How are things going? Talking about grandkids and different things like that, right? They have people back east, it seems. There's one letter that was from Marta von Fryberg that was returned to sender.
Oh, okay.
And that's the really important letter. And in that letter, Marta von Fryberg tells a story about a group of strange men, white men, with painted faces who have been coming on their land, harassing them, and trying to chase them off.
Huh. Okay. That's really creepy. Does she say what they look like? Just looking at painted faces.
Just that they look like fur trappers based off their dress, but they have painted faces.
Okay. I'm down some money, and with this guy coming looking for the von Frybergs and this letter, it sounds that maybe they have been run off. So I am going to head down to the von Fryberg place to try and make my money back, basically, by just kind of stealing some stuff that they have.
Are you going to take Harriet with you?
And I'm going to take Harriet with me.
If Harriet wants to go, Harriet, you don't have to. But
of course. This is way too intriguing to pass up.
So we're going to do that later in the night once the... how long does it take to get there?
It's about half a day's ride, which is like riding hours, so maybe like 3 or 4 hours, right?
Okay. Do I have someone that I can leave the bar in the
yeah,
care
we'll
of?
assume, we'll assume you have a trusted man. Yeah, Jane.
No, I'm not going to leave it in the care of Jane. No, I'll come back and find it on fire.
You'll have no inventory left, right?
No.
I would like to suggest that maybe you. Well, we're going back to. Let's cut back to the house. So,
Okay.
Goody Bancroft, you got a 4, right, on your roll?
I got a 2, unless it's just
a 2.
Yeah.
2's fine. You are looking around the house. You are not finding much. You go around out back, and as you're looking around out back, you see something very strange. You see what appears to be like a trail coming out of the tree line of a deer carcass, a few birds, a squirrel, some more birds, like, kind of higgledy-piggledy, but making a line for sure. And they're all skeletal, and it looks like they just kind of dropped dead where they were.
Hmm.
And that's unusual. And roll insanity.
Okay, so I got a 4.
Okay, so your number goes up by 1. Just tell me your narration when you see it, like how it's making you feel.
I mean, it's really bizarre that these animals would die, that they wouldn't be dragged off by other animals, that they would just have rotted in that place, all the way to a skeleton.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's very bizarre. Is it like a perfectly straight line?
No, it's jagged, but like it looks almost like the birds are like near the branches of trees, like they would have fallen from branch of tree, and the deer looks like it had just come out of the tree line, right? And the squirrels look like they were running around the yard and then just died, and now their bodies are laying in a rough line, like kind of jagged, but a distinct path into the woods.
Yeah,
you can point that out to Hubertus, of course. And so, what would you guys do once you're not otherwise finding any info? It otherwise looks like they didn't look like they packed up and left. Okay, they look like there's still provisions and stuff in there.
Do they have like a desk with correspondence and deeds for the land and stuff like that? Is that still here?
Yeah, you can find stuff like that. Yeah, they had and if they had left, they would have taken that stuff with them, right? So.
Yeah. Do I find out how big the plot of land is they own? Like they actually bought?
Yeah, it's marked out on the map.
Okay. How is there anything interesting on there? Like I would say, as a military officer, I actually have know how to read maps to interpret how big this is. If there is anything of interest, that's not just logging land.
Yeah. I think the most, I'm not going to make you roll for it, but one thing you will notice is that he does have a point. He scrawled a point on the map that basically says something like, it's in German, so you can read it, but it says something like, native fellow warned us not to go here. Made a little note sending a man out or something like that.
So it seems like they talked to the local savages. I point out to the Godwise.
Well, they're generally friendly around here, so that's not surprising.
They warned about going to this place. I point at the map.
I haven't been there. Suppose it might be worth looking into, but who knows what it might be. It might just be at one of their burial grounds or something. You seen any journals or anything? It seems like something that folk would keep around here.
You would have found a half-written letter. You would have found a half-written letter in the desk near an ink blotter that just is basically a letter like to like an industrial supply company in Prussia. Like, you know, he wants a particular kind of saw, right, to do this work. Otherwise, not much turning up in the house.
Yeah, do they have arms here, like a rifle or something like that?
Sure.
And they did not take it.
No.
Seems like they just vanished. It's not. Doesn't seem. Are their boots still here?
No. There are not boots still there. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Seems like they vanished without planning to.
All right. Well, we better lock the place up then, seeing as how they haven't been here in some time. But they might still turn up or come back. I hate for them to come back to nothing.
Yeah. I take the rifle and ammunition.
So I think the sun is getting pretty low in the sky. I think it might be fun just to have all four of you meet up on the road. That's okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
For sure.
Let's take a quick break. We'll take like a 2-3 minute break and come back. Okay.
Cool.
you played any Splatfest yet?
I have not. No, I plan to today. I might take a nap first though, because getting up early to prep for this it takes it out of you. I made this mystery this morning, so if it seems a little dodgy, that might be why. So I guess we're waiting on Philip. Okay, cool.
I also got my video working finally, so
Yay.
you can see my face.
I'm always cool if people want to stay off camera. So we have a lot of players who don't ever go on camera, which is fine. Yeah, so it didn't really stick out to me. Okay, so Philip, cool, he's back.
Yeah.
Philip, just a reminder that I still do owe you a glimpse into the unknowable, and I will be doing that at some point soon.
Sure.
But you guys meet up. I think you meet up on the road, maybe just like, I don't know, maybe like 20 or 30 minutes away from their plat of land. You're all there. Yeah, you just kind of like, your horses cross paths. Have that scene. And you can share. Oh, Ollie, we can't hear you for some reason. I see you talking, but yeah. Just rejoin the call, maybe. So we'll just keep it going for a second here. So yeah, you all meet on the road, and you guys can, if you have any reason not to share your information that you have, you can tell me that now. But otherwise, we just assume you share all the information in the middle of at some point in your conversations.
Yeah. So I guess Hubertus has the rifle. I think like I took like their small jewelry box or whatever, and like any other small expensive things just for safekeeping, so that
right, that's what you would do, right? You would do that,
yeah,
like
just
to return
really
at the proper time.
Yeah.
Good.
And then we tried to secure the property in some way, I imagine.
Yeah. Good. It's pretty dark. Not the safest thing to be on the road like this. They were heading up to their place. John and Harriet were. I'll let Harriet speak for John until John gets back. Harriet, what is your guys' aim? Do you want to just like proceed forward to the von Fryberg house, or do you want to like go deeper into the woods like John was wanting to do, or what? Which seems like a great idea right now.
Yeah. No, going into the woods sounds like a fantastic idea.
I think so too.
I think, yeah.
And I think you guys can, and Harriet, the information you got from Jane will line up with the map markings that Hubertus has about like where he was, where the native peoples were not wanting them to go, right?
Yeah.
And
excellent.
Jane will, it corresponds roughly to the spot.
Yeah, I would ask the bar people why they are investigating the von Frybergs now. When I arrived, and then all of a sudden they are out in the woods searching for the von Frybergs. Why?
Well, as I've been saying to people around town, we thought this was an extended vacation of theirs, but it seems like with your arrival, that may not be the case.
Is that directed to Hubertus, I guess?
Oh, yes, yeah.
Yeah, a vacation. Are there any vacation spots in the area? Is there a beach that people go to?
I say vacation. I heard around town they were actually off gathering supplies. You could say the vacation was some irony on my part.
She is a writer.
May I ask how the investigation's gone so far? I mean, why? You must have some leads if you're out here in the dark in the woods.
Well, I appreciate your help in finding von Frybergs for sure. So, how dangerous is it to be out here? Are there a lot of robbers and highwaymen around, or is it just wild animals?
Well, it's not safe, that's for sure. I wouldn't advise you around these parts at night time.
Can you guys hear me now?
Yes.
Hey, sorry, I cut out for a minute. I'm not sure what was going on. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm having like a weird internet day. I'm not sure what that's about. So they were just making small talk, John, right? That's what you guys are just kind of catching each other up, right? And figuring out like what to do next, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're having like a call issue. It's really unusually syrupy and not great. And Ollie says we're roboting on his end. Can everybody hear everybody okay right now?
I can hear you.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can hear Philip.
Hey, people.
All right. Ollie, are you talking? Can you talk? We can't hear Ollie at all. No,
I heard him just a moment ago,
No.
but I don't know if he can hear us.
no type.
Very intermittent. Roboty
Yeah.
weird noises, like little springy noises.
Yeah, Ollie's quality isn't so good on my end either.
Let me just.
I'm going to try
and
to turn
turn
the
the
camera off.
Yeah, if everyone just either turn your camera off or just lower your, you can lower your bandwidth if you click on the little bandwidth thing. That usually fixes it up. So.
No, I can see you. You're just like right there, so you can just be the side. You're like.
All right. It seems like that has helped.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah.
Okay, great.
We can just have camera for a minute. It's fine. So, well, let's just say let's just say where we're at then. So you're all together, and you were just deciding like where to go at this point. We know that there's a spot in the woods which corresponds to what was on the map and to what Jane pointed out to Harriet, and we know that von Fryberg seemed to have just like wandered off into the woods or disappeared. So.
Mm-hmm.
So, John, what would you want to do at this point? You're muted, Ollie, if you're trying to talk. I don't know.
Okay, sorry, I am back in the room.
Okay. All right.
Yay.
So, okay, good. All right. So, John, basically, they've all just kind of like been chit-chatting and small talking, figuring out what to do next. Where do you want to go?
I am going to try and figure out if anyone has heard any sort of folklore or anything relating to these white-faced men that were mentioned in the letter.
Okay, well, so out here in the middle of nowhere, there's probably nobody to talk to, right? You guys.
Oh, sure. I mean the other guys. So I'm kind of bringing that up in the conversation.
Oh,
So.
yeah. I don't know. I don't think it's anything you guys would have like. You may have heard about. You may have heard about some. There's lots of stories of like, loggers and fur trappers who get together and create little like little fraternal orders and societies as a
Okay.
means of like self-sustaining and protecting each other, you know.
Okay.
And it might be something that like they started to like incorporate, you know, little rituals into their behaviors, right? So it could be something like that for sure.
Did Goody mention the line of dead animals?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, we assume you guys have shared all your information. So
okay, I'm gonna see if there's something definitely fatal there, or whether they've been placed thereafter. So I'm gonna try and attempt to catch a small animal, like a squirrel or something, and try and get it trying to herd it towards that line and see if anything happens to it.
okay, sure. Yeah, at
I will
night,
help.
yeah, at night, maybe like a I don't know, I'm sure there's gotta be some kind of like possum or something, right?
Yeah, is that possible?
Yeah, I think so. It sounds like one die, unless
Yeah.
I'm sure it fits either of your occupational expertises.
I like
No, I don't think it is.
I like the idea of these two like barkeeps just like chasing a possum.
I'm going to
It's
put
a
my
mystery,
sanity going,
right?
really.
Yeah.
Okay. So I got a 6.
Ah, good.
But my sanity goes up. Insanity goes up.
Was it the higher die of the?
It was,
2?
yeah.
Okay, so you just roll it again, and then
Yeah.
If it's higher than a 1, yeah.
Yep.
Well, let me tell you what you see first. So let me look at my notes real quickly to review my notes since we had our little kind of tech issue. I've lost my train of thought.
There was a little bit of a tech issue, and then a little bit of my son running in and shouting hello to your camera.
Indeed. Okay, so you are going to definitely catch your possum, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're going to catch your possum, and you find an angry possum in a tree. I think this is a pretty interesting scene, so I'd like for you guys to like just tell me like how you go about like getting the possum out of the tree and getting it over to this like.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not specifically trying to catch it so much as I am trying to get it to cross that line. I'm kind of interested to see if it just literally does drop dead, if that's what's happened to things. Because if it does, then that implies that there's something dangerous that we should try and figure out what's going on there. So I'm gonna, I'll snap off or grab a fallen tree branch and just kind of try and poke it out of the tree whilst not getting mauled by an angry possum.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
It's
but I'm
hateful and
shaking
mean,
it a little bit.
Yeah. You'll be able to eventually like get it, and it will kind of just freeze up in terror, right? Like it'll just kind of like seize up. And so you're going to take it over to that line, right? Like to just kind of see what happens.
Well, I'm curious to see if it just drops dead.
It does not. But what it does do is it snaps out of its sort of like frozen terror stupor, and like it like begins freaking out. It does not want to approach that trail of bone. It will not approach any of those bones. Like it's freaking out. Like it's hissing and clawing, and like it just won't. Like if you move it away a little bit, like it'll calm down, right?
Okay.
But you can take it anywhere near the bones, it goes crazy.
Okay.
And how does that make you feel? This is unusual animal behavior, right?
Yeah. No, that's not normal, because normally they just wouldn't be bothered, I'm guessing, more or less.
Right.
So what do possums eat? I don't know what they eat.
Oh, I don't know what possums eat either. I guess like
they're scavengers. They'll eat anything.
Eggs and
they're
scavengers. So they would have. Yeah, if they're scavengers, they don't.
It would probably try and
bones
eat it,
normally.
wouldn't it?
Yeah.
It would probably try and eat it, or go near it, so it wouldn't freak out. Okay, so there's something wrong with that area.
Well, Harry, I think this animal's strange behavior is possibly unnerving to you. Go ahead.
Yeah.
And roll sanity die as well, Harry.
And I'm very quickly going insane. I'm on 3 insanity now.
I don't need another one from you. I was counting.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But I do want Harriet to roll because she's witnessing this. So.
Yeah, sure thing. That's a 3? A 3.
Okay, so yours goes up by 1 as well. How do you feel when you see this possum reacting so strongly to not wanting to go towards these bones?
Oh, definitely a little bit unnerved, but then so intrigued, because like That's interesting. And I feel like Harriet would always had this weird compulsion to approach the bones herself to see how that made her feel, whether this is just like an animalistic thing or if similar feelings.
You approach it and it seems fine. It's just bones to you, right? If there's something going on that you can't perceive it like this possum does.
Can I pick one up and?
Yeah, you can keep them if you want.
Have a nosy. Cool. I'll pocket some bones.
Well, so back to Hubertus and Goody Bancroft. Like, this is not what you guys came here for, right? I mean, what are the two of you doing?
Oh, I think when we met on the crossroads, like, I wasn't going back.
Because you just decided, like, I'm done. I'm going back to town.
I have to go home.
You gotta go home. Oh, that's right. Yeah, you gotta go home. Yeah, good point.
I'll ask Hubertus, like, if he has a place to stay, though.
Not yet, but I don't have a place to stay yet. I was hoping there was some kind of inn in this town, but as it seems, the proprietors are chasing some kind of giant American rat.
You mean the possum?
Yeah, that.
Well, you could go stay there if you want, but if you don't mind walking a pace with me, we can ask Hiram if he doesn't mind you staying with us.
Well, I might need to ask your husband a few things too. Maybe he saw something without realizing the importance.
He's always got tales, but I don't know if I'd believe him. In any case, if you won't mind stooping down to stay with some peasant folk like us, I expect we'll have you.
Well, yeah, I will go with Cody.
Indeed. Cut back to John and Harriet. You guys have conducted your investigation with the possum. Now what?
Yeah, it's getting kind of late, isn't it?
It is. Yeah.
Okay. So I think we should head inside the house to hole up for the night, and whilst I'm there, maybe search about and see if I can find any valuables with which I can, with which I can make good on the money that Paul owes me. So I am going to go inside and have a bit of a nose about.
Indeed. And in fact, Goody Bancroft told us that she actually took all the valuables, and Hubertus took the deed and stuff. So they've locked this place down.
That's beautiful.
Damn it. Okay,
but you guys can hold up for the night. I think it's probably a good idea.
Okay, so yeah, you will hear John swearing loudly into the night as he realizes that that's all been done. Yeah, okay, so I'm going to hold up for the night, but I'm a little uncomfortable because there were those the white-faced men. So I am going to. Did she say in her letter which area they came from? If they sort of came from all around, or if they came from a particular direction?
She just described them as fur trappers who wore paint on their face and were very threatening.
Okay, so I am going to sleep with a knife close to me.
Good idea.
I feel like before John sleeps, like Harriet's not making this any better because she's weirdly enthralled by what's happening. Like, bringing it up well into the night. Excitable.
Nice.
Is there I don't know if we checked. Is there a basement or a cellar to this place?
There is. Yeah. Olivia or Goody Bancroft, but she went down there, and in fact they have like provisions and stuff in there.
Okay. Okay.
So
yeah, no, I think for the moment I'm just gonna stay here.
Okay, sounds good.
I'm getting a real like Master of the House from Les Mis vibe from you two.
So back at your place, Goody Bancroft, Hiram is there. He's filthy. like covered in sweat from a day's logging. Describe your house for us. How do you keep house? What does it look like?
So, as somewhat previously described, it's got all the essentials that you need to keep house. It's got a loom. It's got a few animals, a small garden outside, a little chicken coop. We have a stone hearth that was, really central to the construction of this place. I think that it's like essentially like 2 rooms. Like there's the one living room, and then there's like the kitchen is a part of that, and then there's like a second like living area, like where you might have other people, or you might sleep there in the summer, or use it for storage in the winter, and that way everyone would sleep near the hearth in the winter. But I guess on the way back on the way out towards our investigation, I dropped off any supplies that I got. I probably like put something on, like a stewing on, and probably have like a loaf ready to be baked. So like I would just be like starting that going, so that would bake, and we could have a really late dinner.
Yeah. Hubertus, as you're here enjoying this pastoral domestic scene with Goody Bancroft and Hiram, in the middle of the conversation, in the middle of your interactions with them, you observe something, some behavior, or you see something in the house that indicates to you that these two, they have no romantic relationship. Like it's purely a marriage of convenience, of mutual convenience. Like, how do you know that these two aren't truly in love? You can think about it for a second if you want. Back at the von Fryberg place, John and Harriet, you spend a lot of time with each other at the bar.
Mm-hmm.
But this might be one of the first times you've actually like kind of
socialized.
Like actually spent the night in the same place together, right? And you even spent some time on the road, which is another unusual thing for the two of you. And you've gone about your occult investigations. I'd like to know from each of you one thing that the other does that you find incredibly annoying, but then one thing that the other does that is surprisingly endearing. Think about that for a moment. So back to Hubertus. Any thoughts on why you can tell these two lovebirds aren't actually lovebirds?
Yep, I would say it's the way the bed is set up. They are giving it more room than would be needed in a small cabin like this. So that's a good sign they are not as in love as people might be.
And Hiram will, in the middle of, Hiram will kind of, he'll obviously have a lot of questions for you. Why are you here? And you can tell him everything about the von Frybergs that you're looking into. And he'll say to you, well, I've been out here for a few years now, and there's definitely some strange things in these woods. That's for sure.
Strange things like what?
Just strange things, Well,
well, I don't. That is why I asked.
All right. I'm not trying to waste your time here at the end of the night before you go to bed. But
these foreign types sure are rude, aren't they?
Well, you definitely know how to find them. That's for sure, Olivia. let's just say that, I don't know, things are funny out here sometimes. That's all I'm saying. Like, for example, and then he kind of like gets a little, a little like kind of a little uncomfortable. He says, for example, the men who gather at night. I've never told Olivia about this because it's the sort of thing that, well, it's the sort of thing that I would not want to expose her female constitution and sensibilities to. But let's just say there are groups of men who gather in these woods well after working hours, and they get up to some weird shit.
Get up to drinking's what you mean.
No, not drinking, good wife. More than that. Maybe they're drinking, I don't know. But like chanting and dancing in a circle, like the dirt worshippers. White men.
Where you been out seeing this?
Good wife, what I do is my business. I am allowed to have a private life. I am allowed to have my secrets. And I am now talking with our guest about something that may be of immediate importance to his investigation.
Fine, I'll turn down the loft for him so he has a place to sleep.
Thank you, good wife. And he goes on and tells you about he just sees these men who kind of like, they perform like what he refers to as dirt worshiper rituals, these white men, right, out in the woods.
Yeah, that's concerning. So Hiram, do you know if Mr. von Fryberg joined those men or had any interactions with them?
Well, I got to be honest with you. I never called on the von Frybergs because they never called on us. I wasn't going to be the first one to do it if they were going to be so unfriendly and unneighborly as that. So no, we weren't very close.
You helped them set up their plot, right?
When they first arrived, sure. That was months and months ago.
Yeah, so you did the first neighborly step there. But did you notice anything unusual in their picking the plot, or as you set it up, something on their land, or in their behavior?
Look, all I know is that the dirt worshippers, the proper dirt worshippers, not the white men pretending to be dirt worshippers, they act real funny around these parts. Okay, I mean, they're generally pretty nice as far as savages go, but they act real funny. Like there are places they don't want you to go, like there are places they're scared to go, and of course they would have talked to them about that. I'm sure. I've no doubt. There's just something funny about these woods. Makes men crazy.
And do people vanish here on the regular, or is that something strange?
Who can tell what gets into the mind of a squarehead? To be perfectly honest, I don't know what would have compelled the von Frybergs to just disappear. And it's no business of mine. It's business of yours. I've told you what I know. Now I'm going to bed. And he stands up and goes to bed. Cutting back to the von Fryberg place. So who wants to start?
I will go first. So I would say that the annoying thing about Harriet is at the end of almost every sentence, she clears her throat. And I'm going to say the endearing thing is that while I'm here for Scurrilous means she seems to be here because she's genuinely worried about the safety of the von Frybergs.
And in the mystery too, right? Like,
and in the mystery, yeah. So that's kind of sweet.
Right. That's good. Well, so Harriet, what about John?
Like John's a bit nervous this evening, and when he gets nervous, he has this habit of like tapping, like sort of nervous, like whether it's his heel or tapping on like the table, he's just sort of like tapping. And with the night being so quiet, that noise is even more exacerbated. As we're in this house. But the endearing thing about him is like we have this lawyer-employee relationship. But I think for the first time, I really feel like John cares about me as a person, because he keeps asking, like, are you okay? Like, how are you doing? Are you holding up okay? And yeah, it's like the first time where I really felt that sort of human connection to him, since he's such a shady dude, and tries to act like he doesn't care about people all the time. But really secretly, I think he cares.
Good. Love it. So are you guys just going to go just sleep? Is that it? You guys are just turning the night?
Yeah, but I'm curious about in the letters where it mentioned the men with the face paint. Did it say that they came at night?
Nah, that was unclear.
That was unclear. Okay, cool. I'm gonna.
But they might.
Yeah, I'm gonna sleep fitfully, I think.
You are going to sleep fitfully because you rolled a 6 earlier too, and I owe you a glimpse into the unknown.
And I feel like any good Lovecraft protagonist, I think Harriet's going to jot down sort of how she's found things so far. And
if you want a monologue, go for it. Yeah, I'm totally down for a Lovecraftian monologue.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah. So as we approached the von Fryberg place and found the corpses of these little beasts on the ground, these birds and possums, I felt both unnerved but then eerily enticed by the ourselves in. And as I sit here at the table in this dim light, in this eerie quiet, writing down these things, I am both excited at the prospect of what is to come and also deeply unnerved and terrified.
I love it. Except you need like a really big word for like terrified, right?
Oh yeah.
That no one's ever heard before, except Lovecraft. I love it. Yeah, that was perfect Lovecraftian monologue. In the night,
consternation.
Indeed, that's good. Yeah, consternation. You are sleeping fitfully. Hubertus, are you also going straight to sleep? This is important.
I might look into the woods for a while, wondering if the people are out there, the Frybergs, and yeah, this is kind of a strange place with strange rituals, so that has me worried. But I will go to bed after staring into the woods for a while.
You both have an identical dream. You are in what appears to be the woods of this area. You might see some landmark that indicates you're in the spot where the Mercy Falls camp should be. Maybe some particular like rocky structure, right? That's very noticeable. Except it's not. It's very overgrown and it's very lush. And you're both walking. I think you even see each other in your dream. And a large butterfly, bigger than any butterfly you've ever seen, massive, like a wingspan the size of like your, like both your hands put together, flutters down and lands on one of your hands. It's very strange, multicolored wings. It doesn't look like anything you've ever seen before. You see some strange pod-like fruits on the ground that don't look like they fit. But it is otherwise this land. You recognize features of it that let you know. And then you see in your dream a pair of It looks like it must be a pair of dirt worshippers creeping around the brush, hunting perhaps, who knows. And as you both step slowly toward them in your dream, they get up and turn around and look at you, and they have bodies of men, but their heads are birds. They have feathered heads with beaks, and they let out like a shrill cry and charge at you in the middle of your dream. And then you both snap awake. And I want you both to roll insanity now, please.
I'm okay.
Okay. Oh, Philip, we can hear you if you're talking.
I get a 3. I have to roll higher or lower?
Higher for it to go up. So so you're going up to 2.
Up. Yeah.
You both snap awake. Yeah.
I think what I am going to do is kind of, immediately lurch for the knife that I had nearby and kind of pull myself up and get ready to stab someone who is hopefully not there.
Well, so let's talk about that. Harriet, you will probably wake up in the
I was gonna say, are we sleeping like in close proximity?
yeah, you would be sleeping in close quarters, I assume, for safety, right?
Oh no. Oh, I've lost everyone.
Oh.
Everyone there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I've just lost Jason then. Either that or he's just standing very, very still.
No, seems like he's frozen.
Sorry, I went out for a second again. Boy, the connection is just terrible today.
Yeah.
So I am flailing about with a knife, possibly too close to Harriet.
Very good, very good. Harriet. So you see, John wakes up in a startle.
She like startles awake, like maybe with an inelegant snort, and maybe like tumbles out of the bed with all the commotion,
and
like on the floor.
And that's when you're both aware that you hear the sound of footsteps, multiple sets of footsteps crunching in the grass just outside the house. It's still nighttime. Olivia, I think Hiram is sleeping really deeply when Hubertus snaps awake and calls from the other room, maybe just like, kind of.
I think I'm cursing in German.
Yeah.
Gottverdammt.
Olivia, what do you do? How do you respond?
I'll bother to light a lantern and make sure like everything's okay.
Yeah. I didn't sleep too well. I had a really strange dream. Not that I am usually someone who gives too much on dreams, but this one seemed different.
Well, what do you make of it?
I'm really not sure, but it certainly was a dream about the savages from this area.
Well, I guess it has been a imaginative sort of day. Lots of strange talkings about. I'll leave the lantern with you, and if you're feeling like you just don't want to sleep no more tonight, I reckon you might as well have something to do. I just kind of like point to the 3 books that we have.
Nice. going to cut back to the the scene of people outside. There are clearly people outside. You see lantern light. There's probably about half a dozen people.
Okay.
Shadowy figures still, but yeah. What do you do?
Harriet, do you have a weapon to hand?
No.
That's right. They took the gun too from the house. Also,
I'm gonna sigh and I'm gonna hand her the knife.
Indeed.
Do not stab me.
I'll try not.
And I'm gonna try and get a better look at these people outside.
Okay.
Yeah. How are you doing? Are you gonna like sneak out and go look, or what? Or are you just gonna try to look from the window?
Yeah. No, I'm gonna sneak out because I think they might be watching potentially the windows, but not necessarily.
Give me a die roll. Give me a die roll.
Okay.
Definitely one. I don't know if this counts as professional expertise.
I don't think so. No, but I'm gonna put my insanity die in there because this is creepy. Okay, it's a 6.
Oh, good.
But I go a bit insane.
Did you roll it again? You rolled it again.
I did. I rolled twice. Yeah.
Okay, got it. All right, so that's going up. We'll talk about that.
Yeah, I'm unsettled deeply.
What are you trying to learn about them?
I'm trying to see who they are. I'm trying to see if it is the men with the white faces, and I'm trying to see if the I'm sorry, I forgot their names. The von Frybergs are amongst them, because I'm beginning to suspect that maybe they went off with them. I think John is suspecting that rather than Ollie. But yeah, I want to see if they are amongst them.
So you've snuck off, and you're kind of like flanking them to see what you can see. Mm-hmm. One of them steps forward and calls out to the house. Harriet, you're the only one there to respond. Harriet, if you kind of like peek out the window, I assume you guys have the lights down and you're in the house. Mm-hmm. If you peek out the window, you're going to see that this person who steps out in the front of the group, he's a really big guy. He's probably about he looks like he stands about maybe 7 feet tall, or 6 feet 10 or something, really tall and really wide, 3.5, 4 feet at the shoulder, right? Wide, tall guy, heavy set, older, wearing like fur trapper gear. He's got furs and he's got kind of rugged clothing, and I think he's even wearing like a coonskin cap, right? And as he lifts his lantern light, you see he's got like streaks of paint on his face, right? And he calls out to you. He says, "I represent the acolytes of time, and you are trespassing on this property. Get on out of here now." Do you respond, Harriet, or do you just let him call out?
I'm gonna let him call out. Yeah. And keep. Oh man. No, yeah, I think she would I think she might be like, the acolytes of what?
The acolytes of time. Do you say that to him?
Yeah.
You call up from the window. He says, "The acolytes of time. Masters of the dimensional spaces. Kings of the continuum. We call you out and demand you leave this place."
Where am I in this?
Leave this place. Oh yeah.
You're observing all of this. You will see that they are armed, not with guns, but with like hand weapons, axes, and things like that. There are about half a dozen of them. There are no von Frybergs that you can see.
Okay.
But one of them, well, I'm going to hold that thought. I'm going to cut to the other group. Olivia, your sleep is restless. And I think all this talk of men in the woods will key to you. I think you'll see. I think you'll see the lantern lights moving in the darkness toward the von Fryberg place. What would you do?
Like I'd probably try and wake Hiram up and wake what's his name? Hubertus up.
Hubertus, yeah.
I think I
awake.
Yeah, I'm still awake.
Yeah, and I would point it out. Like, how many lanterns are we talking about?
Probably 3 or 4.
Okay.
Which means at least half a dozen or more men. Right?
Yeah.
Yep, I'm loading the gun, the rifle.
Nice, nice. Are you guys just going to go out there, try to encounter them, or get up behind them?
I think I would try to sneak out and see what is going on there.
Olivia, what about you?
Yeah, I'd be trying to see who it is, if I recognize them from town, or if, by some strange coincidence, it's the von Frybergs back just now.
They're men. You don't recognize them, though. It's definitely not the von Frybergs.
Mm. So I would probably just be trying to follow quietly. Like, probably wouldn't have a lantern, maybe even lit at this point, just to mask my presence.
Yeah. Let me have a roll. You guys can help each other here. So basically, you can both submit dice, and then we just take the highest of those. So.
Yeah. I guess sneaking around at night with enemies nearby would be 2 dice. And I'm risking sanity too.
What about you? Good luck, just 1 die, or
yeah,
sanity
I think it's just the 1 die.
Okay, so you can both roll, and then I want the highest of all that group. Just call out results to me.
It looks like 5 is the high number.
Okay. Is the insanity die higher than any of the other dice on your roll? Okay,
yes.
Then go ahead and roll that, please. You're trying to get under 2 or under.
Did that entire? I think I will clear it. The roll. No, that's not under.
What'd you roll in the insanity roll?
6.
6. Okay, so you just go up by 1.
Yep.
But 5 is a good result. You're going to be able to you'll be able to sneak up on them, no problem. Once you guys sneak up on them, what will you try to do? Like, we'll say you're kind of behind them as they're like approaching the von Fryberg place, and maybe you even see this whole scene play out where they're calling out to the house, right? What would you guys want to do? Just observe, or?
How many guys are there, and are they armed?
There are 6 of them, and they have axes and hatchets and things like that. Hammers. No guns that you can tell.
Yeah, I would like to go out and threaten them.
As we're doing that, you are sneaking up, John, and I think, John, you're going to see Olivia and Hubertus, right? They might even I think you're going to see them, and I think you'll see them, like, they've got like a rifle, and like they're kind of approaching, and these men don't see them, right? So you have that information.
I am going to be very relieved.
Maybe one of the men, like, this is where you said your insanity went up, right?
It did, yeah. I'm on 3 now, so I'm quite close to losing it.
I think this is where this is coming from. One of those men, like one of those men turns and like actually makes like really direct eye contact with you. Like, you thought you were sneaking up.
Yeah.
He like turns and makes really direct eye contact with you. And then he's kind of in the back of the group. Like, he's not with that big guy who's yelling at Harriet in the house. He's in the back, and he kind of like seizes up and throws his head back once he sees you, and begins to like shake like kind of violently, like he's having an epileptic seizure. But he's standing there, and he's just like shaking around and like just like kind of like, just having a spasm. And one of the other men like acts like it's no big deal, and they go up to him, and they just like they jam like a piece of leather in his mouth, so they can bite down on it, and they kind of stay with him until he kind of comes out of this like this seizure, right? But it's just an unusual sight.
It really is, yeah. I am gonna try, because I think aside from being freaked out by that, I think I've been made. So I am gonna scuttle as fast as I can towards Olivia and.
Yeah.
And
well, they actually don't. Actually, you're not made. Like he goes back to his business once it passes. Like he wasn't even aware of you. Yeah.
But I think I am.
Yeah, that's fair. Meanwhile, Olivia and Hubertus, you're just gonna like, you've got the gun pulled. What do you say, Hubertus?
Yep, I have the gun pulled, and I would step out of the tree line with the gun clearly pointed at the leader.
Mm-hmm. What do you say?
You are the ones trespassing. This is for Fryberg's property.
Give me a roll.
Is threatening people part of my military?
Yeah. And nothing else. You look like you know how to use a gun, right?
Yeah.
Can I say also that I think it's interesting if he fails here?
Absolutely. Yeah. Just roll against him.
And roll against him.
Yeah, you just roll a single die.
I got a 5.
Okay.
I got a 6.
Okay. Did you risk insanity for that? Or?
No, I just rolled my regular 2 die.
The leader turns, and this big guy, he turns surprisingly gracefully on his feet, right? And he looks at you and he says, he raises up his hands and says, well, there's no need for violence. I mean, we're all just looking out for one another, right? In any case, me and my men will be moving along now. If that's all right with you, sir.
Have you seen the von Frybergs recently?
No, can't say I have. We took it upon ourselves to watch their place while they were gone.
So why did they say that you were trying to run them off their own land?
Oh, are you out there after all, or?
Yeah.
Okay. He turns and he says, well, I don't know what you're talking about, sir. But in any case, we'll be on our way. Didn't mean to cause any trouble. And he kind of looks at you, Olivia, and says, evening, ma'am.
It's the creepiest voice.
Well, you're all here in the dark. They leave. If you don't try to stop them, they're just going to go back to where they came from.
Yeah, I don't think I will win if I fight against 6 people.
You can't, yeah. Well,
yeah, I can shoot one of them, but
too.
then it's kind of expected.
Well, and per the rules of the game, you die automatically if you engage them with combat. So.
Yeah, so I imagine I could shoot the leader, and then his cronies would get me. So that's threatening is the best outcome I could get, and I'm letting them leave.
I think we should follow them.
That's
I want to know where they've come from. You're what is it, military?
Yeah.
I say, looking him up and down. You know how to scout and stuff. You could lead us to them.
Yep, I could.
That sounds like a great idea.
Olivia,
I'm up
are you
first.
this adventure?
I'm sorry, what?
Are you down for this adventure? Following these men? Or are you going to do something else?
I suppose so. I'll just see where they're going.
Indeed.
I mean, they're near to your farm too. They could be trying to run you off any day. Turning up in the middle of the night. You need to know where they are.
Yeah, they already took from Fryberg's probably. It's obvious that that's what happened. So, any of you handy with a gun?
I've shot one. I wouldn't say I'm good at it.
Yeah, good enough. I would hand him my pistol, so we are distributing the firepower a bit.
Appreciate it.
We'll say you follow them.
Yeah.
And you can observe them for a little bit. They have a camp a little ways up in the hills. They have a camp, and they don't all stay there. Some of them get up. They look like they maybe have people who are expecting them, or places where they need to be, and they kind of shake hands or whatever, pat each other on the back, and maybe grab a drink of whiskey or something, and they kind of head their own separate ways. But one of them does remain, the leader, the big guy, and he eventually just kind of pulls a wool blanket over himself and nods off and goes to sleep. Pushes his coonskin cap down over his face. Excuse me. I'll just go to the table and find out what you're all doing. Olivia, what are you doing?
Well, I tried to wake up Hiram to come on this little adventure with us. Is he here?
If you want him to be here as a player, sure. If you're not interested in it, actually, then no. I don't care.
Well, I'd be trying to see if Hiram knows who these guys are.
Yeah. I mean, so that's the thing. Let's have that scene. We can kind of retcon it a little bit. Because Hiram might know more than he's letting on, right? He clearly knew about their presence and didn't tell you, right?
Right.
How would you try to get that information out of him?
I think I would pull him back a little ways, so that we could actually have a conversation without disturbing this guy's sleep or attempt at sleep.
Right. Yeah.
Hiram, I know that you didn't tell me about this before, but now this is getting all too real. I need to know what's going on. Do you know anything about these people?
He clearly doesn't want to say something. For all of his other curmudgeonliness, Hiram thinks very highly of his role as your husbandly protector, right? And he disapproves of you being out here in the first place. And he also doesn't want to get you wrapped up in things that are clearly too much for you to handle. So how would you defeat that? He'll say, Goody, I'm not going to go into this with you. Okay. You just need to be thinking about tomorrow. You need to be thinking about the chickens. You need to be thinking about the house. We got so much stuff going on that needs our attention. This is not our business.
Hiram, if it's not our business, whose business is it? They could come and surround our house like they just did. They could destroy our crops. We're too far away from a town. This is probably the most help we're going to get unless they do something to us and we manage to gather a posse.
He's like, they don't care about. He's like, they're not going to bug us because our land's nowhere near that hole.
What hole? And what do you know about this?
He's like, oh, Goody, just forget it. All right, just forget it.
Look, you want to set my mind at ease, or you want to set my mind at ease? You want me to shut up? Just tell me.
There's some goddamn hole that they care about. There's a hole. I don't know what's in it. It's none of my business. But we've talked about it before, all right? It's got something to do with their newfound religion. That's all I know.
So what? Now they're worshiping out here with the Indians?
Goody, it's none of my business. It's none of your business.
Oh, it was apparently none of our neighbors' business neither. Now they're missing.
Well, yeah, let's just say those squareheads, they should have left when they were told. That's all I'm saying.
What are we going to do? Are we going to leave? Yeah.
I'm going to cut. Harriet, what would you be doing right now?
Good question. Harriet is still intrigued by the information Jane gave her about does this location sort of match up to the rough location that Jane?
Yeah, you could easily sneak off and go find that. Yeah.
Sounds like an idea.
Do you go alone, or do you bring somebody with you?
I mean, I'd probably tell John because it sounds like it may be of his interest. But it's his choice if he would like to venture off with me into the woods on adventures.
Yeah, I'm going to come along for that. I don't think you should be going off by yourself in the woods with
I've got a knife.
crazy ass humanities around. Yeah.
Well, then, Hubertus, you've got the leader of this group, kind of like sleeping at the camp here. There are some things around, like you see, like that he's got a tent where he clearly has his belongings. There's a couple of rucksacks, that kind of thing. What would you do?
Is he the only one here, or are his guys here too?
Yeah. Everybody else went back to their families or whatever they had to go get to. So.
Is there a rope around?
Oh, like to capture him and tie him up? Is that what you had?
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. Why not?
Yeah. I would kind of signal to John that we can capture this guy and grab him, so we can like move in together, bash him in the head with the back of the rifle, and tie him up with the rope.
Okay. Yeah, let's do that first before we go looking for the those black urns that Jane was talking about.
Yeah.
So this sounds like a roll. I'll give you the military advantage here, Hubertus, and then maybe help from John. I'm going to roll against you. So
I will.
How does help work? Do I just give him a dice?
You just roll your dice as if you were doing the test, and then we just take the highest result from all of them.
Yep. Cool. I will throw in insanity.
Okay.
You got a 4 from me.
I got a 6.
You got a 4. So, was your insanity the highest die?
No.
Or higher? Was it higher than one of the others? No. Awesome. You're going to catch him easy. You'll be able to grab him. Just describe that scene for me. What does it look like? Hubertus.
We move in. I bash him in the head with the back of my rifle to startle him. Then I'll
keep the revolver trained on him to stop him moving whilst you tie him up, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, perfect. Good. And you can gag him and all that stuff too.
Yeah.
He's a big guy. He's pretty strong for his age, but he's pretty. But the two of you can subdue him and take him down. Hiram turns to you, Olivia, and says, "Well, this is just getting out of hand now. Now we are kidnapping people. This is ridiculous."
Weren't my idea, but hey, long as we got him, might as well figure out what's going on. Mayhaps we can just scare him out of ever bothering us again.
Oh, so now we're going to go toss his things like we're just common road agents? Is that what we're doing?
I'm not saying we toss his things. I'm saying we talk to him.
I got a feeling he's the kind of sort who doesn't want to talk. Just my feeling. And he kind of reluctantly will kind of walk behind you with you. John and Harriet, once you guys have him secured, are you guys gonna pop off to go search for the black jars?
Yeah. Does it look like Hubertus? Have you got this? Hubertus?
Yeah.
Yeah. You can handle this. Okay. We're going to look for those black jars. You see what this guy knows.
Yeah, I will ask him a few questions.
So yeah, I guess we're going off into the woods to investigate. And we've got a very stern-looking frozen Jason again.
Yeah, I'm back. I
Oh,
think
geez.
I'm back. Boy, my internet is just terrible today. I don't know what's going on. And it's definitely my internet because my other apps are running like slow as all hell. I apologize. So yeah, I'm sorry, say that again, John. Were you guys going to go off or what?
Yeah, we're leaving it with Hubertus to question the guy, see what he knows here. But that's not really our purview, so we're going to go see if we can find those jars that Jane was talking about and see why someone who's seen as much as her was so freaked out by these.
Yeah. What was the sort of like landscape or geographical detail that Jane was that you're navigating by here, Harriet? What did she tell you to look out for in the landscape?
Oh yeah. In the woods, there's this tree taller than all the rest of them. In this little clearing that you can see from a mile off, and there's this stuff hasn't grown around like the land. There's a very like lush forest, but for some reason there's this like plot of land around that particular tree that is just barren.
I love it. And you find it. And you find this little hillock, as Jane described, and you have to brush away some, you have to brush aside some overgrowth or whatever. But you see these 3 black, tall jars. They're made of like a smooth black stone. And they have what's clearly lids. You can see the seam where like the lids can come off. And they're kind of like half buried in the dirt on the side of the hill.
How many of them are there?
3.
Okay. I'm gonna go open one with my gun ready.
If you open one, hold that thought. Let's take a quick break. 2 minutes.
Okay.
Okay.
Cool.
Right. If you're here, just say so, because I know some of you aren't on camera. So
I am here.
Here.
looks like David's here based off chat. Philip?
I'm here.
Okay, cool. You are both, you've popped open the top of this smooth black urn.
I think I've got like a stick, or not like a stick, but like a branch or something to help me lever it off.
The moment is pregnant with tension, right? Like, what are you going to find inside?
Well, I'm sort of suspecting that perhaps this is where the von Frybergs have ended up, but I'm gonna.
Ooh.
You pop it open. You've got your stick. You're leaning in to see what you can see. Harriet, maybe you're holding the lantern so we can get a good look at things, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you hear behind you a little.
I think I'm just going to turn around and shoot because I was already nervous.
You spin around. I'll give you the option of whether you shoot or not. You spin around and you see a little puppy dog like staring at you all, like filled with righteous puppy dog fury, barking at you.
Okay. What the hell? Hey.
And
hey, boy.
He keeps his distance. He stays away like a good 30 or 40 feet.
I'm gonna offer it a bone.
Gross.
You had one earlier.
Really? Yeah.
If you put that bone anywhere near it, it'll shrink away. It'll shrink away. It won't go near it.
Did the von Frybergs have a dog?
Unclear. Probably. A lot of people had dogs.
Okay. Sorry. I mean, did I know that the von Frybergs had this dog specifically? Did I see them with this dog?
That's unclear. Yeah.
Okay.
Who knows?
Okay. That's weird, but I'm gonna go back to trying to see what's in this giant vase thing.
Harriet.
Yeah, she's gonna try and win this puppy over.
Indeed.
It's pretty dang cute and making a lot of noise, which is a bit scary given that people are.
You turn away. You're trying to deal with the puppy, and you hear it before you get a chance to look in the jar. You hear it, John. You hear a dog bark, not a puppy's bark, a full like a adult dog bark, and we're gonna cut away from that.
Okay.
You guys have captured this guy. You've tied him up. You've gagged him, if you wish. Olivia, what's your move here? You and Hiram.
I mean, I'm just trying to get information about like what these guys' deal is. Like, I don't want them around my place, and I don't like that they are. So probably just asking him more pointed questions, or trying to get Hubertus to.
Well, let's have the scenes, you and Gagan.
Yeah, we need to question the guy. So yeah, we gag him and I look at him with my steely eyes and try to give an intimidating first impression, I guess. And how does he react? Is he?
He has a big smile on his face. His big jowly face. He says, splotchy, red, jowly. He says, "You think you're a real big man wearing that uniform like that, don't you, son? Brandishing a gun at a man who can't fight back. But I have seen truly terrifying things, and you will forgive me if your presence, your threats, Do not persuade me or cause me to have a fear of you. Nor you, little lady.
I need to know where the von Frybergs went, and that is all I need in this place, and I will get this information. So you can talk now and save us all a lot of trouble.
Them squareheads, they have walked past the portal of time itself. They are even now, as we speak, gingerly treading in the spaces between reality and unreality, between past and present, between the fullness of time and the void of the beginning of all things.
Hiram, this guy's crazy. We don't want these crazy people running out in the woods around here.
Well, what do you suppose we do, Olivia? Do we shoot him?
I don't know. Maybe that's best. It sounds like he murdered our neighbors.
I ain't never murdered nobody. I've never hurt a single mayfly. And he smiles. He has some things in his tent, in his spaces. What do you all do? He's clearly just talking gibberish to you, though.
Yeah.
Although he seems like he really believes it. So.
I guess I'd kick him and tell him, talk some sense. Where are the von Frybergs?
I already told you, my square-headed friend. Your people are walking in the thin places that separate us from truth and madness.
Yeah, that's peasant nonsense. Where did they go? I don't put any stock in witchcraft or superstition. Just give me the place.
And he's not budging on this. He's just going to keep saying weird things over and over again.
Hiram, this guy's crazy, and he probably killed our neighbors. We need to drag him back to town, and we need to get a posse together and run the rest of them off.
All right. Well, can it wait until morning, Goody? It has got to be damn near 3 a.m. right now, and we're out here in the cold, in the woods. Definitely not minding our own business.
Is there no gendarmerie or something in this place?
Is there no what?
Gendarmerie, which would be military or militarized police.
No, there's nothing like that. It's functionally. There's not even a sheriff. It's not an incorporated town. It's just lawless, basically.
Yeah, but my character doesn't know that. And so
right, exactly. I thought you were asking out of character. Yeah.
No.
In character, yeah. I
wouldn't use that word to ask. So he's
a what?
Exactly. I'm going to cut back to the other group. Harriet, when you kind of put that bone in front of that little puppy, he receded, like he backed away kind of into the darkness, right, where you couldn't see him. And that's when he barked like a big dog. And that's when John heard it. Harriet, what do you do?
You're like, oh God, I was to say, hey, kitty. You're like, come on, boy. Like trying to coax him out of the darkness.
He steps out of the darkness a little bit. It is plainly the same dog. I think he has eye markings that make it look like the same dog, but it's definitely like a grown version of the puppy you just saw. I want you both to roll insanity, please.
I am somehow keeping that together, but I am muttering some, what the hell,
Indeed,
under my breath.
What did you get, Harriet?
I rolled a 4.
Okay, so you're going up by 1.
I'm
How do you
going
feel
up by
when you
1 as
see?
well.
How do you feel when before your eyes it appears this dog is aged instantly?
Yeah, like prior to now, there was that sense of like thrill and adventure, but it's starting to tip to that point of like, ooh, shit, like this
Yeah,
is
not
actually
good.
not
Yeah.
fun anymore.
Indeed.
I want to go home.
The dog will not get super close to you. It's trying to like bark at you and like get your attention or chase you off, but it's not like it definitely, there's like an invisible line that it won't cross, right?
So when it barked, did like the sound of the bark come out of the canister?
No, you heard it was the dog. You heard it. Over your shoulder.
Okay, definitely.
Yeah. Speaking of the
Okay.
canister,
Yes. I am gonna Harriet, pass me the lantern.
Hey,
And I'm gonna attempt to set like a branch on fire from the lantern, assuming that it's a flame lantern, and kind of toss it down into the canister to see what I can see down there.
yeah. I mean, it's not very big, right? You can just like look, like it's like about maybe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's like the
assume
size
that's
of
huge.
like a table vase or something, right? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't make that clear. Inside, you're going to see what appears to be a mummified, shriveled up fetus inside the jar.
Jesus. Okay.
Except it's a fetus that definitely has a bird's beak on the head.
Oh no! I'm going to roll myself sanity.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't
You're
like
both.
myself.
Yeah, I want an insanity roll from both
Yeah.
of you again.
Yeah. And no, I am not keeping it together.
You're not keeping it together. Okay.
No. In fact, I'm just going to start running through the woods away. I'm going to kind of abandon Harriet where she is. And I want none of this. I've lost
take the
any
lantern with you?
Yeah, it was in my hand. Sorry.
Harriet,
So I've lost any goodwill that I built up over this evening.
did your insanity go up, Harriet, or did you hit a 3 or lower?
I rolled a 3.
Okay,
and
so you're
I'm
good.
at 3.
Yeah, you're good.
I am.
So
I'm just in the darkness, like going like after John's booked it. It's like, John.
Harriet, that dog makes like a sort of like a plaintive, hollow yelp, like, and it's like bent down on its foreknee, and its hair is all patchy, and it looks skinny and mangy and not good. And it's just desperately trying to bark, but it doesn't even have the strength to get a full bark out at you.
Oh no.
Make another insanity roll.
Hang on. I'm still fine with this. I rolled a 2.
Indeed. And the dog is just like kind of like it just like lays down on its haunches, and like it's like too tired to stand anymore. It's too tired to bark at you, but it's still making like its eye is wide and the lantern light glittering, like just like a crazed look in its black eye. You know, its tongue kind of lolling to the side, like trying to let out like a bark, and it just can't.
Oh shit! Is this like a put it out of its misery kind of situation? Like, is it clearly like, into, like not doing well with life?
If you wait long enough, you don't have to worry about it.
Okay.
I'm gonna cut away. So, Homeboy is just making just a lot of like creepy statements, basically. Olivia and Hubertus.
Yeah, I guess since he isn't making any sense and clearly a demented individual, I'm looking around the camp if there is anything that can tell us more.
Yeah, I mean, there's not much to look around at, and he wasn't trying to hide anything necessarily. So you'll find like, you know, cans of beans. You'll find fur trapping equipment. Importantly, inside his tent where he sleeps, you're going to find a book. It's a big, thick-looking book, and a book would be unusual anyway, just because people around these parts aren't super educated. But yeah, what do you do?
Yeah, but I open the book, take a glance at the first page.
First thing about the book, before you even grab it, it stinks. It has a terrible smell. It smells like body odor. Like the book reeks of like body odor.
Yeah, that's disgusting guy. What did he do with this book?
And when you grab the book, you'll see that you'll feel like moisture on your fingertips. It's as if the book is sweating, and it stinks terribly. Roll insanity for me, please.
Going up again. So I'm at 4 now.
Goody Bancroft, what are you doing?
Yeah, I probably would have gagged the guy again and done the same thing as Hubertus, just like looking around the place.
The most significant thing is that book. So do you go handle the book as well, or are you just letting Hubertus deal with that?
I mean, I'll probably look over his shoulder at it.
You smell it. You definitely smell it. If you don't touch it, I don't need the insanity roll, but it definitely stinks. As you flip open the book, Hubertus, how are you feeling about this right now, this whole situation?
Yeah, I kind of pride myself about my Prussian discipline, and I was a line infantryman in the Napoleonic Wars, so I'm kind of hardened, but this whole crazy thing with dreams and insane locals, and now the sweating book is clearly grinding on my nerves. So I tense up as I open the book, and I'm rather worried whatever might be in there, even if I of course know that there is nothing I should be afraid about. It's written in the book.
Indeed. 1 second, I'm just looking at my notes real quick. Okay. The book is called, on the cover, it's written in English. It's called The Testament of Karamagos. I'll type that in the chat. The Testament of Karamagos, it's mostly a bunch of nonsense, as far as you can tell. You're flipping through the book, you're looking at different pages. It's a lot of rambling about magic and summoning the Lord of Magic, summoning the Lord of Time, and not David Tennant, summoning it's got drawings and sketches and things going throughout it. Goody Bancroft, you have the lantern light up and you're looking over Hubertus's shoulder. As he's flipping the pages of the book, you can see that his fingernails are turning distinctly yellow, and his hands are getting like liver spots and like shriveling a little bit, like they're aging. What do you roll insanity first, and then tell me how you respond.
Okay, so looks like I keep it together. I don't go more insane.
She's tough. She's tough and tough of mind. How do you respond though?
I think I just like push it out of his hands or something.
Sure, yeah. And it falls to the ground.
And I probably give it a couple kicks, like. Hey, look at
that's. Yeah, it's a stink. It's a disgusting book, but.
No, look at your hands. Look at your hands.
Do I see that my hands are changed, or is it an hallucination by her?
Yeah, yeah, they look like your fingernails are definitely yellowed for sure. Your hands definitely seem a little more papery than before.
Yeah, I guess I stumble backwards, sit on a tree or whatever to sit and start mumbling to myself in German.
You roll an insanity too. Now that you're aware of it. So,
Yeah, it's not going up.
Okay, I'm gonna cut away. You ran off by yourself, John. It feels like a bad move here, but it's
It does.
a good move in the fiction.
Yes.
You run off. You catch your breath. You stop. You lean up against a tree to catch your breath.
Mhm.
And you hear something in the brush. This is about, I don't know, maybe less than 1,000 feet away from where you were at. You hear something crawling around in the brush, like a large animal, like a wolverine or something. It's just kind of, you hear it like scrunching around. And then you hear Guachieras.
I am going to absolutely let off a couple of shots in that direction.
Indeed. Give me another insanity roll.
And hope that doesn't count as fighting. That's a 6 on the insanity roll. I don't know if that's especially.
It just means you go up, yeah.
Okay.
You let off a couple of shots.
Super panicked.
And it's quiet. Like maybe you've chased whatever it is away.
Come out. Whoever's there, come out.
It's silent for a moment. And then you hear it again. Closer.
I've got 4 more bullets. Don't tempt me. I've killed a man before.
You see the bush moving as if whatever it is getting closer.
I'm gonna shoot twice more.
And you have to run at this point, or
I'm assuming it's not. I'm assuming it's not actually doing anything.
Yeah,
I'm
it's not
shooting,
doing anything.
but I am shooting.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna run.
All right. Anybody want to roll against him? No takers on.
I'll roll against him.
All right, go for it.
Can I make a case to roll 2 dice here? Because
what is the case?
The case is that I've had to run after shady deals have gone wrong before.
Oh, I'll take that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fair.
And I'm including my sanity. Oh, do I? No, I'm not going to include my sanity dice because I might just go insane all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a 5.
Okay, what'd you get, Lauren?
I got a 5.
I had to look at the rule. I can't remember what happens in a tie. They have to roll higher, so you get a 5. You will escape pretty cleanly too. Describe your escape, please.
Okay, I let off a couple more shots into the bush, and nothing appears to happen. And as it rustles once more, I just turn and run as fast as I can, and the trees are whipping past my face and cutting my face as I'm running, but I'm not even noticing them. I'm just going to keep going, stumble, immediately pick myself back up, and just don't stop running until I literally can't.
Yeah.
Until I literally can't not run anymore.
In what direction? Where are you going? Just any particular
just
direction?
Just away.
Just away.
Okay. No. And actually, very specifically, I have no idea where I am going.
Okay, I love it. It's good. Well, so back, Harriet. Do you stay there with the dog, or what?
No, I was thinking it'd be kind of funny if like Harriet also ran off and then bumped back into John. But no, I think at this point she's likewise going to kind of like run for it, but in the direction she thinks John went.
You'll hear the gunshots, right? What do you do when you hear the gunshots?
Oh yeah. Ooh. Well, she knowing that John had a gun might piece together that is him.
That's where he's at. Yeah.
Yeah, there were
and
two, and then a pause, and then another two.
Yeah.
So would take off in that direction, but mindful of the fact that there are other people around. Maybe sort of going, John, when she gets closer to try and suss him out. Yeah.
Give me a roll just to see if you can locate John.
Cool. I got a 3.
All right. You are going to you're going to see John scrambling up a hillside, desperately trying to get away from something. You're not going to be able to catch up with him, but you're going to see what direction he went. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And you can, I'm going to cut away. You decide what you want to do with that information.
Cool.
Back at the other group. You've just had this moment with this book. Weird big guy is still tied up. What's happening now?
Yeah, I'm kind of stunned by the horror of my hands changing color and aging on the spot. Like, this grimoire certainly did something, and the contents were pretty disconcerting as well.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, it's late. It's late. You have this guy.
I just start pushing the book towards him. I'm like, what's wrong with your book? What did it do to my friend?
Do you ungag him? You gagged him before.
Yeah. I ungag him, and I put the book like on him.
He says, "Little lady, there are things inside that book that you could not possibly understand. And not because you're a woman, but because you're human. It takes a special person to decipher the scrawlings in that book, and you are not that person. But I would be willing to share this knowledge with each of you, if only you would kneel before me like students and receive my dispensations."
I would like to shoot him in the head.
Indeed.
Are you going to?
I think at this point, Hubertus, the gunshots that you all would have heard in the distance too, I think that will have gotten the attention of maybe some other people, some of the other members of the group, those men, and you'll kind of see them coming back to Big Man's camp to investigate. You could, but now, how would you proceed now, knowing that?
Is there a knife in this camp? Probably, right?
Sure. Yeah.
He's a third trapper. He has to have a knife.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I want to stab him in the heart then, because it's less noisy.
You do.
Okay.
Oh my God, what are you doing?
Hiram's like, and now we're sitting here committing murder, Goody. This is really something you've gotten us wrapped up into.
And I'll just like, I'll probably just flee the scene. Like, come out here.
Hiram will run with you. Hubertus, they're running. They weren't here for murder. What do you do?
I take the knife with me as well as the gun, and I try to get into the woods as well, so I don't get caught by the rest of his witch cult.
Mm-hmm.
Can I ask, when you stabbed him, did he die?
He appeared to. Yeah, he just slumps.
Right,
Just
okay.
goes quiet. Yeah, he bleeds
Okay.
and everything. I think the night will pass. Each of you, in your own ways, will hunker down for the night. You can eventually make your way back to Mercy Falls if you wish. But the night passes. Morning breaks. I'm going to just go around the table and find out what you would all be doing at this point. Harriet, would you? I will back up just a little bit with Harriet, since you saw that John was just running to safety. Would you try to go after him, or would you just like hunker down for the night?
I think she'd trail after him.
Okay. I think eventually you'll just get back to town, essentially, right? Like as day is breaking, you'll have just wandered within the vicinity of town, both of you. You may never catch up with him, but you're both back, I think. So what would you guys do? You can find each other.
Yeah.
I'm gonna head straight to my bar and open a bottle of whiskey and start chugging.
Seems like a good plan.
And yeah, wild-eyed and actually, yeah, just kind of wander into town, dishevelled, covered in mud and stuff like that, holding a flickering lantern with my gun, looking like a crazy person, and yeah, just wander straight into my own bar and start chugging that whiskey.
So I will tell you right now, John, because you have hit 5 insanity, you now have triggered the possibility of suppressing mythos knowledge.
Yes.
And the way that works is if you take some active step to destroy mythos knowledge or suppress any knowledge of any of this happening, you can roll to lower your insanity if you wish to do that.
I am going to do that by just drinking this entire bottle of whiskey.
You're just going to drown your sorrows completely.
I'm just going to try and get blackout drunk so that I don't remember what happened last night.
That's perfect. Give me that roll. Roll your die. You're just trying to hit under a 5.
I got a 5.
You do not go down any.
Okay.
I don't believe so. Let me check it.
No, I think that's right.
Yeah, it has to be lower. So you wake up still with your terrible memories.
and now sick as a dog.
Yeah, but Harriet, you'll find John. You'll find John. He's got the bar closed and he's in there. Are you just like passed out on the floor, John?
No, I think when she gets in there, I'm still trying to drink past it, basically. So I've got the bar closed. I'm just in there by myself with the bottle of whiskey, which is nearly empty, and the gun right next to me with its hopefully two remaining bullets. And when she opens the door, I will sort of pull the gun up and then see it's her and kind of shake it back down to the table.
I feel like Harriet wouldn't. Maybe she hasn't clocked on just how drunk John is, but would be pretty pissed that he left her in the woods.
Right, I know.
And so I feel like she would have a little bit of a confrontation, like, "What the fuck? You left with the lantern. I was in the dark, alone."
I didn't realize I didn't know I still had it. Did you see what was in there? Did you see the thing? It was the thing from my dream.
No, you just ran. What was it? I said, did you see the dog?
No, not the dog. There was this like a baby with a bird's head. It was the same thing from my dream. I dreamt.
Your dream?
I dreamt there were Indians with faces of birds, and they were coming after me, and that's what I saw inside.
Oh, geez, we need to talk to Jane about this. If she's not too drunk already.
Indeed. And in fact, do you also mention that you ran into some creature in the woods too? That's calling out to you.
Yes, I did mention that. Yeah. And there was something following me. It said, I don't know what it said.
Oh my god!
Not human words. And I shot it, and I'm sure I hit it, but it just kept coming.
John, if I hadn't seen the crazy shit I'd seen today, I wouldn't believe you, but I'm almost afraid to admit that I believe you.
I grab another glass and pour a drink and pass it to her.
She will down it.
Goody, how do you spend the rest of the evening?
I think it's like I think Goody wants to leave. Like she's not sure that she could live here anymore.
We're done packing up and leaving.
Like trying to convince Hiram, like, this isn't like the kind of place that normal people should live around. Like maybe we should go a little bit more south or something.
He's like, so you're suggesting that this land, which I've been working for so many, many months, and which cost us no small amount of money, Goody Bancroft, you suggest we just leave and strike out again?
Rather that than turn out whatever happened to our neighbors happens to us.
Well, at least we don't have to try to travel with children.
Is this really the conversation you want to have right now?
I'm sorry, Goody. My nerves are just a bit frayed from the events of this evening.
Look, Hiram, I've been waiting for a more opportune time to tell you this, but the reason I'm so on edge, the reason I want to get us the hell out of here before anything else happens is because I'm expecting.
And he kind of just like sits down and kind of like, I think he probably would not be persuaded to leave without that information. Do you want to roll on that?
Sure. And
that sounds like occupational in nature.
That sounds occupational. That is delicately put.
Yes. For purposes of our mechanics, anyway.
Oh, I rolled the wrong dice. Rolled the wrong kind of dice. I don't know what I got. Just too many dice. Try that again. Okay, I got a 3.
Yeah, I'm not in the room anymore. So, or that dice room. So just tell me. I'm not. I'll roll against you.
Okay.
Just because you can't just skate out that easy, right? I got a 5. You want to risk sanity to try to beat me?
Sure. Why not?
Okay, go for it. Roll your sanity die.
Oh, no, it's a 2.
Okay. You can now choose to re-roll all of them again if you wish, because you put your sanity die in there.
Sure. Why not? Okay, well, I got a 4 on the sanity die, so I guess I get to roll it again, and it might go up, but I didn't win.
Right. All those things are true.
And it goes up because I finally got a 6.
Good.
So somehow this is not going well for her.
It's not going well for you. You were sneaking up behind that group of men, right? With Hubertus. You might have seen that one man have that epileptic seizure, right? You're in the middle of talking to Hiram, and he just starts having a seizure. He just like seizes up, his head like kind of whips back, and he just like collapses down to the ground, and he's just like screaming out to you. He's just screaming out, like just nonsense words. And what do you do to like calm him down? Like, how do you get him out of this?
Yeah, I think like I like rest his head on my lap or whatever, like, and get down and like putting something in his mouth so he doesn't like hurt himself. And I'm just like stroking his hair and like trying to get him to calm down. I'm just like, it's not bad news. It's not bad news.
Once he gets calm, he's in a sweat, and he'll say, I think you're right, Goody. I think we need to get out of here.
Are you all right? Has that ever happened to you before?
No, but there's a darkness in this place. You're right. I don't want you. I don't want our child. I don't know what this is, but we've got to go. We've got to go. I'll make arrangements in town today.
Cool.
Hubertus, how did you spend the night?
After I ran away from the cultists, I guess I find some place to rest against a tree, kind of hidden with a gun in my lap, where I have a short nightmare-filled sleep till I get up and start walking in the direction of the place marked as "Do not go here" by the Indians, because I want to find out what's up there.
Yeah.
Up with that.
Good. Do you wait until till sunbreak, or till daybreak, or till?
Yeah, I wait till I have naturalized the witch cult already knows this area better than me. There are savages here, so I at least want light.
Yeah, that's good. That spot, it goes close to where those jars are. Doesn't take you quite there, and so you never actually run into that. But it does take you to what appears to be a clearing in the wood, and there's just a big hole in the ground. It's kind of more like a little kind of low cave entrance, I guess. It's kind of in the kind of hill wall a little bit, and it's vaguely circular in shape. You'd have to hunker down to get inside of it, but it stands out for sure. I mean, it looks like there could be like a bear in there or something, right?
Yeah. Are there any signs of people going here and using that cave outside?
Give me a roll.
I guess it's just my basic roll and insanity.
Although tracking might be a military thing, right? Could be.
I guess, yeah. I get a 5, and insanity is highest.
Okay, so roll that one again, see if you're going up any.
Yeah, I rolled a 6. I'm going up to 5 insanity.
All right. You're going to get all kinds of good information here.
Yay.
There are some old footprints, not recent, maybe just slight depressions in the dirt, right? Nothing that that have been kind of washed away and stuff over time. But it does indicate that people have gone in, right? But more importantly, you find a German comic book at the mouth of the cave.
A comic book.
Yeah, or like a Penny Dreadful or something, right? Like a a couple little bound together few sheets with some little drawings and stuff on it in German.
Yeah,
like a kid would have. What do you do?
Okay, did they have children?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they had 2. Mm-hmm. They had 2 teenage children.
Okay, are there footsteps? Like there are footsteps going into the cave. Are there footsteps coming out? Or are there any tracks?
Not that you can discern, no.
Okay, that's worrisome, but I have to go in there now. That's kind of, I feel responsible, and I will craft a torch before I go in, so I have at least some light.
As you step into the cave, I'm going to cut away and let you think about it, but as you step into the cave, and this is kind of where your insanity increase is coming from, you get the distinct impression that this cave that you're walking into, this cave system, this tunnel, that it is the oldest place on Earth. It is as old as time. I want to know how you get that sense, how this place is somehow older than all the rest. Okay. And we cut back to the bar. Well, so you 2 have had a lovely adventure. Is it worth? It doesn't sound like maybe your debt is no longer worth claiming here on your end, John.
No, but what I do intend to do is go back to those vases, those jars, and burn them.
You're gonna go destroy them. Okay, you can do that. I mean, it's daytime. You can get over there easily. No big deal.
That's the plan. Is that I'm going to go back there. I'm going to ask you to come with me, and just the things should not be here anymore. And I kind of think we should torch the Fryberg house as well.
That could be that could justify another roll, right? Just burn everything. Well, how do you feel about this, Harriet? I mean, Harriet, these jars, if nothing else, they contain valuable archaeological items of archaeological significance, right? I mean, my goodness.
Yeah, I think she'll go, but yeah, there's just definite sense of her being torn between being my oldest and then wanting to know more. Like she's still So I guess she'll go along, but then whether or not she goes along with John or not, we'll see.
You're holding up much better than John, right? Like John's not. You can tell John's barely keeping it together right now, right?
Like,
just
I feel very badly.
Yeah.
I feel like now there's that sense of like I need to like John needs looking after. Like he needs someone to more than anything.
Well, are you trying to talk me out of it then?
Oh, good. I guess it would
We
depend
could
upon
roll a
how.
competing roll.
You can roll against each other. Well, let's say you get there first. So you get there. I already made you roll insanity for what's in the jar, Harriet. So I'm not going to make you do that again because I thought you looked at it last time. So we'll just say you did now. And the decision is to be made. I mean, like John, you're just going to go and like smash them or what? What's the plan here? And actually, if you guys don't mind, on your way out, I'd like for you to run into Olivia and Hiram. Are you cool with that?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Olivia, what about you?
Yeah, sounds good.
So you'll run into them. These crazy bar people. These crazy
saloon. A little bit drunk as well.
Yes, very, very wasted saloon people.
Yes. And I'm coming out with some kerosene and some flint.
Right. They look like they clearly look like they're going to burn down the von Fryberg place, if nothing else. When you see them, what do you do?
I probably just like don't make eye contact with them. Like, just want nothing to do with this business. This is so great.
I think that sounds reasonable. Actually, is that we just kind of see each other.
Reasonable. Yeah.
Look at each other and kind
of
just go past each other without saying a thing.
It's a good scene. Yeah, it's good. Well, so you're at these jars, these canopic jars, and what the plan is to smash them up, burn them inside, burn the fetuses, or what? What's the deal?
That's I haven't even seen what's in the other ones, so
it's the same. So
it's the same. Okay, cool.
And is there a dog skeleton there?
No, there's a puppy barking at you.
Oh Jesus.
No!
I've seen this, John. We've seen this before.
It's the same puppy. It's definitely the same puppy.
Really tempted to shoot the puppy.
Don't shoot the
puppy.
Okay, I'm gonna ignore the puppy.
Indeed.
And I am. I'm gonna start just pouring the what would be the flammables of those that day? Would it just be oil or
like
kerosene?
lantern oil or something? Yeah.
Lantern oil, yeah. So I just start pouring that about unless anyone stops me.
Yeah, you're gonna try to stop him, Harriet?
Oh, jeez.
You'd just be rolling against each other. So.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, we'll do the roll first and then resolve it in the fiction after we know the result. So,
cool.
This is probably a 1 die for each of you, unless you want to sanity.
Got a 5.
Okay.
Oh gosh.
And I'm hoping that if I do manage to destroy these, I can get another sanity roll to reduce my insanity.
Right.
I got a 2.
Okay. Do you want to risk your insanity to roll again, Harriet?
Sure.
Okay, so roll that die. Roll another single d6.
I got a 5.
Okay, so that will trigger an insanity roll, and you now have the option of rolling them both again to try to get a 6 to beat him.
Yeah. Sure.
Hang on, wouldn't she?
Oh yeah.
Wouldn't she win?
No, she has to beat you. I think. I'm pretty sure.
I thought it went to.
Oh, does it go to the?
I thought it went to insanity.
Highest insanity stat breaks ties. Oh, so yeah, I guess she does win. Yeah. So do you want to risk your insanity to try to bring it back, John? That's the key.
I'm so close. Yes, let's. Because that's fun.
Okay, roll the die.
So do I add my insanity die and my normal die and just roll them both again?
Just roll the insanity die by itself. We roll it like it was part of the original roll.
It's a 6.
Okay, so you're going to get that roll on.
Yeah.
You win, so no worries there.
Okay.
But first you have to risk going completely crazy. So Let's just have that roll. You're trying to avoid a 6.
Okay. It's a 3.
Okay. You have control of the scene. You're going to prevent Harriet from stopping you. Just give me the whole scene here, John. What does it look like?
Okay. Why were you trying to stop me? Is it because these are sort of interesting archaeological things, and you want to write about them?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
So you get. I'm just going about it kind of mechanically, kind of robotically. I don't want to look at anything. In fact, I'm avoiding looking at it as I'm pouring the stuff, and I don't want to see it again. You get your first proper look at it during the day, because it was during the night last time, and I'd already stolen a lantern by the time that you actually got to have a look at it. And you can see that there's something really significant here that has never been seen before. And you try and stop me, but the minute you sort of try and hold my hand back at all, the sort of the mechanicalness goes altogether, and I start screaming and push you aside, literally push you to the floor, and pour the rest on it as quickly as I can, and just like frantically trying to go at the tinder, not even caring that I still have some of the oil on my hands, and my hands are catching fire as I'm doing this.
And the dog, which is an adult dog now, is barking like crazy at you.
Shut up! Shut up!
You just turn and realize it's an adult dog.
Yes.
Smash them up, smash them up. Go ahead and roll your insanity die, see if you reduce it. You need a 4 or lower.
Yay!
Okay, you have clawed back some of your thought. I'm going to get to you in a minute, Hubertus, but I'm going to save it because I feel like you're the finale. So, going to Olivia and Hiram. Goody, what more? What do you want here in the story? Like anything else? Where do you want this to go?
For Olivia, like the best outcome is like getting away.
Okay.
Like worst outcome is like something happens to Hiram and she gets stuck here, or can't leave immediately or something.
I could go to a fairly dark place, in his way of keeping you here, but I'd probably choose not to. So I think no one will stop you from leaving, right? I mean, there's no and your reasons for wanting to leave are completely rational and good. So if as a player you think if as a player you want me to push on something to get you to not go, I'll do that. But if you just want to leave, I'll let you. So
I mean, we've got like 25 minutes, so I'm honestly fine either way. If you think we can resolve like a more grim outcome, I'm up for that.
Yeah, I think I don't know. It just feels right in the story to let you go to me.
Okay.
So because I think it speaks to your relationship with Hiram, and I think it all just kind of makes sense to me. So, but think of an epilogue though, for sure. Hubertus, tell me, how do you know this place is so ancient, older than anything else in the world?
Well, it is more of a feeling, like I know it to be true once I see this place and feel the weight of Ian's on my shoulders and on the rock above me. It is not like there's a big mountain on top of this cave, but everything really feels heavy down here, and yeah.
And as the cave lets out the tunnel lets out to like an overhang and opens up into a vast underground space, and you have your lantern and you can see bits of it. Vast underground space spreading out beneath you. It looks like a city, like a Native American city underground, either buried over the course of time or built here originally in the natural stone. But it's like pueblos, like stacked up, kind of like the Anasazi, right? Like just stacked up and spreading out. That's quite a wondrous sight, and also a little unnerving. Roll insanity.
I guess that is a 6, and it takes me up to 6.
And the thing that sets you off is you find Conrad von Fryberg. That's the son. You find Conrad von Fryberg, who was a boy of 15, stumbling toward you, hunched over, hair white, skin like the man, like he's 90 years old. Okay, stepping forward towards you, and he says in German, "Oh, you found my comic book," and reaches for it. And it just drives you over the edge.
Yeah.
We'll handle it in epilogue. I'm going to go refresh my coffee. We'll come back real quick, like 1 or 2 minutes, and we'll do epilogues, okay?
So is this your first Gauntlet game then?
It is, yes.
Oh, cool. I think it's only my third because I'm not one of the premium subscribers, so I just get in when they have additional places.
Oh yeah. Yeah, for me it's a time thing. It's almost 3 in the morning.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my god. Oh, sorry.
I hope it was worth it.
Well worth it. Yeah, no,
okay, good. Yeah,
100%.
Good.
That's a good time to be playing this game, though.
Yeah, true.
Oh yes. I'm gonna have fun sleeping tonight.
David, are you back?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, I'm here.
Okay, cool. Let's go to epilogues. You can show us your character at any point in the future, bearing in mind your final level of insanity, just kind of maybe how that affects your character's approach and thinking on things. Whoever wants to go first, just tell us a little story about your character.
I've got something.
Sure, go for it.
Okay, so sort of open on John standing at the smouldering remains of the Fryberg house, kind of semi-satisfied with what he's done and just kind of wandering off. And then a little while later, he's in his bar, and he goes to the back room where he had that parcel for the Fryberg family. And just out of curiosity, he kind of gets his crowbar and opens it up and looks inside, sees what's inside, and laughs and laughs and laughs. And that's what we'll keep.
Good. I love it. Who wants to go next?
I guess Harriet could go next.
Please do.
Yeah, I suppose for Harriet, the most troubling thing for her is that she has no proof of what happened now because it's all been destroyed, right? And yet that dog is imprinted in her memory, the life and death and that cycle that she can't get out of her brain. And so I kind of feel like she and Jane become really good friends, being those women in the village who everyone sort of writes up as crazy for having known too much. But so I feel like this is she becomes that person in the village who maybe she's an exchange. I don't know. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. You and Jane become partners in pariahship, I guess. in a sort of way.
Exactly. Swapping stories.
Yeah. Good. I like it. Anything romantic or just platonic?
Yeah, romantic for sure.
Yeah, sure. Good. Okay. It's still good. It's a good little coda. I like it. I love it. Who wants to go next?
Sure, I can go next. I think the cult has followed the murder of their leader. They reach the tree line in front of the cave. They see Bertus light the torch and go in, and they are kind of worried knowing that this is a dangerous place. And they go closer, look inside the cavern, and then they hear a person approach, see Hubertus lighting a torch, going past them into the cave. And so like the puppy, he is kind of caught in a time loop. And,
nice. I like it. Just back and forth. Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, he's going inside, realizing what happens, going insane, and then it happens again.
Caught in a loop. Good. Love it. All right. Good wife, Bancroft. I know when David saves his epilogue for last, it means he's got a good one. So hit save.
So I think that we see Hiram and Goodwife. They are in California, so it's a little bit different climate-wise, but same kind of setup. They're still working, and Hiram comes in from a hard day at work, and he looks kind of happy. There's a crib in the corner that he has made, and Goody will kiss him. It seems like having a child has somewhat sparked their romantic side in each other. But then she goes over and looks in the crib, and her face kind of sours a little bit. And you see a little baby with a strange illness that seems to age him irregularly, where his hair is already very, very white.
Love it. What's that movie?
It's Benjamin not Button. Yeah, it's not quite that severe, but that.
Yeah,
good.
It kind of went well. It could have had a bird's head that would have.
Yeah, it was good. It was good. Yeah. Could have had a bird head. Yeah, possible. Who knows? Awesome. I love it. Yeah, great. Cool. That was super fun. That's session 1 of the history of Mercy Falls. The next session, I don't know who here is for that, but the next session we'll advance time a little bit more modern, and do another story. But I hope you all had a good time.
Yeah, it was great.
Yes.
Like really genuinely creepy at points, which I don't normally
Yeah.
I don't normally get at role playing games.
Yeah. It's a thing I like to do. I like genuine creepy in role playing games. So
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
not easy to do everything,
Yeah.
but it's doable.
I
just-
Oh, sorry. What were you saying, Warren?
Oh, I just listened to your horror your horror podcast. That was neat seeing that in action.
Oh yeah. I was wondering if anybody had listened to that. I was like, I wonder if they're like noticing me doing techniques right now. But
Yeah.
like
No,
slow
it was
speaking.
really, it was great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Slow speaking is a big one. Right?
Did you ever see
yeah.
The Mentalist, the TV show The Mentalist?
No, I don't know. I haven't.
Oh, the like the big bad through that the entire series is a serial killer called Red John. And whenever he talks like this. So it's put me straight back into that.
Well,
Yeah.
so that character, my Monster Hearts players, this setting, it's part of our Monster Hearts universe, which is called Monster Hearts Mercy Falls, and
I saw that the big man was like a character in it.
That character is a principal villain, or one of the villains in that series. Yeah, so he makes he's a character I've lived in for a while, so I'm glad he came across good.
It's a good
Can I
voice
just
work
say-
there.
Yeah. Oh, Philip, what did you like to say?
Oh yeah, go.
I just wanted to praise the voice work on the big guy.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, he's fun. He's fun to play. What were you saying, Lauren?
No, the Monster Hearts game was like what really got me into the Gauntlet stuff. So like I absorbed all of that, and that was like that was so good.
Oh, you've listened to
see
it.
that
Oh,
character.
good. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Oh, good. Okay, cool. Yeah. That's even better. Okay, good. That makes it really gratifying for me personally that you like at least have that
Yeah.
connection to the past of it. Yeah, that's good. Cool.
And that
I
was
haven't, but now I need to go back and
partially
listen.
Yeah. You
That
should go back and
sounds so
listen.
good.
Yeah, for
It's
sure. Yeah.
So good.
Thank you. Well,
In fact, seeing like the I think part of the reason why I signed up for this is where it's like Mercy Falls. So I was like, I need to get in that game. I don't care if it's up till 3 in the morning.
well, I'm glad it's worth it. I thought you guys did lovely with characters. I thought even though we only had these characters for one session, I thought we got some really, really beautiful character development particularly between John and Harriet, and also between Hiram and Goody. I enjoyed those scenes a lot. Hubertus, who was kind of like on his own, kind of just kind of how it worked out. I did notice that you continued to play his haughtiness throughout, which I thought was very good. I noticed it frequently, like how above it all you were, even till the bloody end, you were above it all. But I thought there were some great scenes. I thought the decision that Hiram and Goody made felt really real, and it felt like the decision that would be made.
I loved it when you brought in that she was pregnant.
Yeah,
that was so good.
Yeah, I was like, I'm not gonna. I could have like done something to try to keep you guys there, but I was like, no, this feels like the right move. Like it just feels like the right outcome. So,
what are the other time periods going to be for the other episodes? Because I'm in episode 3 as well, I think.
So Lauren, since you've listened to it before, this will mean something to you. The next one is probably going to be in the 1950s-ish or somewhere around there. I'm not sure what the connections are to the main Monster Hearts thread yet there. The one after that is going to be we're going to see Norma, the diner waitress.
Yay! Sorry.
Yeah, we get to see the genesis of like her and like her, like kind of her story becomes like part of session 3. Because I really wanted to flesh that she's a character I didn't get to flesh out in Monster Hearts properly the way I wanted to, and so I'm taking this advantage to do it now. I'm taking this opportunity to do it now. And then I don't know about session 4. Probably something really close to the time period of when the Monster Hearts was taking place. So
okay, cool. Yeah. Can I just say I enjoyed how it had like actually Lovecraftian elements in it as well, rather than just generic horror. So like the black solid canopic jars and the time
Yeah.
dilations, that feels
Yeah,
like something that would have been in one of his stories rather than just ghosts and ghouls and call it
Well,
Cthulhu.
and the monster was Quattro Utas, which is a mythos monster.
Okay.
Yeah, you can look him up later, but basically he's like a little mummy thing.
Yeah.
That like things like time is fucked up around him, like things decay rapidly and things like that.
Now you say that, that's
and your character encountered him. Like your character was right there with him.
was that the thing that was speaking?
That was Quattro Utas. Yeah, that's what he was saying. He's like he's like a Pokemon. He just says his own name. He's a Pokemon mythos monster.
A really effing scary Pokemon.
Yeah, really scary Pokemon.
You guys do, the Lore podcast?
I do.
Oh yeah.
It reminds me of that one with the guy that goes into the woods and finds little creatures like Iwaju, and that's the only thing that this little creature says to him.
I don't remember that one, but it's
like with his dog. Yeah.
Yes.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, I thought it was super fun. I was going to suggest a Discord debrief, but we've kind of debriefed already, so I think we can just kind of go about our day. But thank you guys so much. Again, I loved it. You were all lovely. Lauren, it's great to play with you for the first time.
Likewise.
And, enjoy the rest of your day, okay?
Excellent.